Agents of I.C.S. is a Monster of the Week horror podcast meant for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to our new horror campaign using the system Monster of the Week. We've already set up tone and other fun things in our session 0, so if you've not checked that out yet, please do so. But for now, we're going to check in with our 3 agents, and then we'll get right into things. Starting with our shared intro.
I hear loud voices and shouting as I approach the caretaker's room. The door is closed, but I have business here, so I pause just outside the door to wait my turn. But curiosity piques my ears despite my better judgment.
You knew they were here. I've been looking for them for a decade. You hid them from me, knowing where they were. I accessed the system when you hired me. You clearly laid it. It was right there. You expected it to happen.
Oh, pause real quick. You sound good, but your mic is cutting you off.
Hit it on purpose. Did it not go through well?
Oh, are you cutting it on purpose?
Yeah, because she doesn't hear the full story.
Oh, shit, never.
Oh, that was great.
That was really
Immersion.
good. That was really good. Never mind. Continue. I thought your mic was just cutting you off. Continue, please.
How dare you interrupt me?
Oh, it was really good. Keep going. Okay, keep going.
Kaiba. That was Kaiba's voice. He seemed so laid back our last meeting together. What could have riled him up so much? I open the door and poke my head in, hoping to calm the situation down. Kaiba takes one look at me and stops short.
This isn't over yet. Will we continue this some other time? For now, I am taking my PTO. And you, as I point to Merrick, you're going with me.
I see the caretaker pick up his phone to make a call. I do still have business with the caretaker, but my curiosity is piqued now and I follow Kaiba out.
And next, Margot.
I am not a morning person. I have 3 alarm clocks set to ring 10 minutes one after the other because I'm too angry at waking up and smash everything but the snooze button. Though nowadays, my new BFF usually licks my face and whines until I get up, so I haven't actually needed my 3rd alarm clock lately. My dear brother, always worried about me, decided that I needed to learn how to take care of something. Apparently, I'm too cold-hearted. When he casually mentioned he was going to get me a dog, I was first horrified because why? But then I let the idea settle and actually became kind of excited. I pictured this giant, fierce beast of pure muscle with a bark terrifying enough by itself to scare the undead back into death. My excitement was short-lived. The creature's tiny. Its feet are too large for its tiny body, so it's always tripping over itself, and its bark is so pitiful, I'm pretty sure Maverick's shy cat wouldn't be afraid of it. Enough grumbling or Maverick will scold me. I feed her breakfast immediately after sagging out of bed, because otherwise she'll follow me into the shower, and I like the water way too hot for most living creatures. It's a good shock to the system, gotta hurry before all my skin melts off type of thing. Next is my breakfast. I'm not much of a cook, but I can make the basics. Eggs, bacon, butter toast. I check my phone for any texts while it's cooking. I almost always have a text from my brother, and sometimes he'll call me right after I text back if he isn't busy on a mission. That's us. We use phone calls instead of texts when we want to talk, which is often. It would be annoying if I didn't low-key miss the good old days when it was just my twin and I against the world. I take BFF out for a run after that, then either head into the office to work on paperwork, or stay home and lays out on the couch. Today is a couch day. The Monster Hunter theme, Proof of a Hero, suddenly sounds from the kitchen. I'm attempting to catch up on the shows I'm behind on, and apparently I forgot my phone. BFF! Phone! I hear an eager yap. Something thuds, and then my new best friend bounds into the living room with my phone in her jaws. She only trips once. Maverick promised she'll be fearsome one day, but I have my doubts. At least she's a quick learner, though. I pat her head to check the message. I do love news about dead bodies before lunchtime on my supposed-to-be day off. Time to drop BFF off at doggy daycare, tell myself I won't miss her, and get to hunting.
Alrighty, and then the camera pans over to Carson.
Every day, my alarm rings at noon. And every day, my first thought is that I'm getting too old to run a bar that closes at 2 a.m. Luckily, after I arrive, my ops manager, Lila, is the one who takes care of opening duties while I take care of any consultation requests that may have come in overnight. Right on schedule, my phone starts ringing, and the caller ID says I.C.S. I look at Lila over the counter. It's going to be a late night.
Oh my god, Megan.
Love
Leave
it.
alone.
I love it!
So good.
Anyway, that's the end.
Alrighty, and now, Jay.
Ignore the call, of course. I'm standing here on the tarmac, the starting line, next to my beloved Buick Vera. Just getting ready to drive some laps, and I'm going to make the most of it. Reserving this place ain't cheap, it's not refundable. So I open the door and step in the car until I get passed by another ringing from my other pocket this time, a soft, shrill ring from a pocket watch that I'm all too familiar with. Fine. I reluctantly answer my cell phone. You have a job, the caretaker says. Are you kidding me? Today's supposed to be my day off, you know. I'm not even in the city. I can't refund this reservation. He mentioned something about my contractual obligations and being on call, and this being a special case. Fine. I get it, contract, but you better compensate me for the money I lost here. The caretaker cuts me off before I can even finish that sentence and tells me about how I can deduce it or write it up as a deductible. Yeah, deductible. Okay, fine. What about the overtime and the hazard pay? The caretaker mentioned some numbers and percentages and wages, and I sigh loudly again. Yeah, sure. That sounds good. I'll be there in an hour. I grumble some more before I hang up my phone. Stand there contemplating for a few more seconds before I take out the intricately inlaid silver ornamental pocket watch that was ringing at me so fiercely seconds ago. You owe me at least one lap. Any complaints? The pocket watch stays silent, and I smile. I jump in my car and take off at a mildly dangerous speed. And after my lap, I finish. I leave the place, take to the highway, and continue at the same mildly dangerous speed, and make it to the office in record time. I'm sure nobody will complain about that, right? Arriving at my destination, with time to spare, might say, I leave my car, light a cigarette, and turn around. I could go get for some early lunch.
Awesome. And I was going to ask who would probably get there first, and I almost want to say Jay is most likely that answer.
Does he? Because he goes to take early lunch.
That's it. That's a good point. Okay. Alrighty. And the call or email or however you receive information is as follows. I.C.S. needs you to head down to Russell Springs to handle a troubling incident. A local who was visiting home during his college downtime murdered his family and neighbors. The agency has sent a coroner to assist medical examiner of the town to give you all an in. Please arrive at the local law enforcement station by 1 p.m. this upcoming Monday. Ask for a Julian Reyes, and they should allow you access. We have provided documentation if you wish to present as FBI. Other covers, as per usual, are acceptable and may be used at your discretion. Remember, discover and stop the incursion. Minimize exposure, and never reveal our existence. And with that, considering Jay might have taken a little lunch break, who would arrive first?
I think I would.
Yeah.
I'm
What
not a
time-
morning person, but I definitely got up before lunch.
Yeah, and I definitely only got up at lunch, so.
Well, the Monday rolls around. So those that are early, do you just kind of wait, chill? You go straight to the station?
Margot is definitely the type to go straight in and start asking questions, whether they're provided or not.
Fair enough. Do you wait for your allies that you know are arriving? All you guys were told is 2 other people will be joining you.
Now I'm going to start perusing. I want to understand.
And Mr. J, Margot arrives a little early. Carson arrives at pretty much exactly 1. And you were early, but you went to go get food while you were in Russell Springs. What'd you get?
He just went to like the local sandwich shop. I'm sure there's one around.
Excellent. Did you take it to go, or did you enjoy your meal there?
Yeah, but he's like leisurely eating it as he walks back, so he isn't in a hurry.
They did interrupt you after all. And like I was mentioning, Russell Springs is a rather small, little quaint town. You guys didn't have any issue finding it whatsoever. You check cell reception and, everything is just fine, as it should be. So we're not in the middle of nowhere. We're not surrounded by mountains or anything. As mentioned, is only about an hour and a half or so away from the primary city that we've done some business in before. And as you arrived up first, Margot, are you like walking in and going to talk to people or what?
Yes.
Okay, you go straight to Julian.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, you go ahead and walk on in. And as you do, you, of course, are going to meet some folk up at the front counter. And they give you a nod and a look. You're not sure if they're expecting you or not.
I asked for Julian. He's expecting me.
The officer behind the counter is not necessarily ignoring you, but they seem very busy, very hurried, stacking papers and such, and talking with other folk. They actually look a little too busy for such a small station in such a small town. You see many folk rushing left and right, moving papers around, and some folk just look exhausted, tired. You can probably, guess why. But when you mention that you're here to meet someone, their eyes light up and they look up at you. And with a smile on their face, they actually seem really happy to see you. And they point just around the corner to the back, let you know that's where the medical examiner's room will be.
I'll nod and head straight back.
You actually get a couple eyes on you. And as you're walking down this hallway, you hear some whispering behind you, and you get a couple waves, you get a couple smirks and smiles. People seem to be happy you're here for whatever reason.
Should I be creeped out by this? Is this normal?
Potentially.
Okay, I'll pretend I don't notice it.
Just outside the room, you see an individual that doesn't really look too happy. He doesn't really offer you a smile, and if he does, it is a flash of a smile. He looks more frustrated than anything else. He's standing outside the medical examiner's room with a very sour look on his face, and he gives you a nod. You can see on his suit, his badge says Craig. I assume you're the specialist they invited in.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, Julian's back in there.
Thanks, and I'll walk past.
Yeah, no problem. And as you walk in, he is rubbernecking to look into the room as much as humanly possible, but I'm assuming you'll have the door to swing closed behind you pretty quickly.
Definitely.
Alrighty, and not long after this, when you walk in, you see that there is a body currently being looked at, and you see an individual, presumably Julian Reyes, and he gives you a wide smile and kind of a very knowing smile. Not the same as everybody else, as if they're like, ooh, a specialist is in our small little quaint town. Very fancy. His is more of a, I know why you're here. And we will rewind to outside when Carson arrives. Margot, do you still have that obnoxious, SUV?
Absolutely.
All right.
That's a company issue, by the way.
Definitely not. They probably want something more toned down company issue.
Too bad.
Well, so I'm here now, right?
Indeed.
And I see the obnoxious SUV.
What
The one
car do you drive, Carson?
Well,
I picture something classic.
yeah. Maybe I restore old cars. Maybe that's my hobby.
I love that. I can see him doing that.
That's how I unwind.
Very
That's
cool.
how I de-stress. So let's say I have a nice old classic car.
I dig. Well,
You know how, in movies, when somebody has a really nice old car and they look back at it and they rub it with a handkerchief?
yeah.
That's what Carson does. Oh, that's so stupid. His name is Carson. Oh my god.
The son of cars.
The son of cars.
It's fine. Jay does the same.
Perfect.
Except there's one car he loves.
Christine. I'm just kidding. That would be so cursed to name your car Christine. All right, so I show up. Margot's obnoxious vehicle is out front, but I don't see her, right?
Correct. You've seen this vehicle before, as you've most likely worked with Margot in the past. And yeah, she's probably already in there.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely on brand. I just go ahead and I walk in then. Might as well, since we're all going there anyway.
Alrighty, and as you do, you get a couple looks, almost as if to say, is he with the lady who just came in? They're less busy. They're moving a little slower now. Not that Carson would know, but they're still, incredibly stacked for how small this place is, Carson.
Well, what does Margot look like again? Like a brief physical description.
Kind of short, brunette, pretty much like the picture. Tight clothes, long jacket.
All right. Well, is Craig the
Honestly,
one that I have to go past?
Yes.
All right. So I guess I walk up to him, and I'm like, "Hey, you seen the short brunette, kind of pushy, drives a hideous car? Did she come by here at all?"
He looks up to you.
I heard that.
I was like, never mind. And I'm like, never mind. There she is. I'm one of the consultants. And then I just walk past him.
Alrighty, excellent.
Unless he tries to stop me.
No, they probably would have checked if you're here to see Reyes as well, and then you would confirm that, and they would go ahead and let you on in, and you receive the same looks. Everyone's looking you up and down like, ooh, very fancy. All right, cool.
All right, well.
Do you say anything to Craig, who's on the outside? He looks just as sour as when Margot walked past him.
When you say he's not smiling, is he upset, or is he
doesn't
bored?
He doesn't look upset at your presence. He looks sour in general, and his expression is very much forced. He's if he were forcing a smile, which he does kind of for a second, it's super obvious. He's not mocking you in any way, shape, or form. He just probably isn't used to whatever's happening currently. And he's just kind of standing outside the medical examiner's room. And he's wearing his uniform, so like he probably should be in there, but he's standing outside of it.
I nod at him and I'm like, hey man, how's it going?
Things have been better, so not great, but you know.
You want to talk about it, man?
Yeah, I mean, you're one of those specialists, right? They called you in.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, well, apparently you're taking my job. I'm not qualified enough to look at the body. Ignore the fact that I've been here for 10 years.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, apparently.
At a game, why is he... how does that work?
How's that work?
The levels of allowance, I guess.
That's a good question. He seems very salty at it, so this is very much out of the norm.
He said he wasn't qualified enough?
That's what they told him.
That is kind of bizarre, yeah.
Yeah, he nods that like, yeah, I've never been told that before. I've seen plenty of bodies, but whatever. And
who's your higher up?
Directly. I mean, I effectively work back here alone. We don't exactly see many bodies. I don't want to, a kid was killed and his family and the neighbors, so there's a lot to look at, and I was 90% through, done with everything, but, find a few weird things, and suddenly it draws interest from certain folk. Man, I got no idea.
What kind of weird stuff?
Yeah, you got me.
Nothing stood out to you or anything?
No, I mean, definitely something stood out to me. Just the amount of blood, the way each individual was dispatched. And he kind of gives you a look away. He's like, you're used to bodies and such, right? This isn't too...
Yeah, that's kind of my specialty.
I don't want to be callous. I knew the kid. I knew the families. So, yeah, we're all mourning over this. And he points back down the hallway. You can see people rushing all over the place. And some of them look, like I said, exhausted. He says, yeah, the whole town is grieving over this. But, part of... It's my job. I do this. And I want to help. And apparently I'm not allowed to. I found these weird, pinpricks on the kid's arm.
Pinpricks?
I wasn't allowed to look closer.
You said on the arm?
Yeah, after the murder, apparently someone was called in to help. I didn't know by help they meant, remove me entirely.
That does sound really weird.
Yeah, it's a little shitty if you ask me. So I'm waiting out here until I'm allowed to go back in.
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
He waves a paperclip at you. He's a paperclip, like a folder. He's clearly he's still filling stuff out. He's still working on something, but he's just like, yeah, basically, yeah, he's just waiting outside, just kind of.
So wait, what is he working on?
Just notes, effectively, so he's not just standing around. So he, filling out, yes, I saw this, blah, 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 signing papers, boring shit, basically.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to head on in there, but, if you happen to remember anything that kind of stood out to you, let me know.
And he actually offers you somewhat of a genuine smile. He says, yeah, will do. He looks around a bit. I'm writing some of the weirder things down, and, I have some of it in the notes, but keeping some off to the side just in case they decide to yoink them. Like I said, this is weird. People don't normally come up from, higher up and
I really kind of deal with very strange situations, so I'm not surprised to hear that they're being weird like that.
Well, good luck.
But feel free to pass on any info to me, and I'll see if I can find it useful or anything like that.
What was your name again?
Carson.
Nice to meet you. Is Craig.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm gonna hand him a business card.
All right, he puts it in his pocket.
All right, see you, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
And I head on in.
Jay, you probably wouldn't have arrived too late after this, so you most likely see the ass end of the conversation between Carson and Craig.
I arrived 10 minutes early-ish, and then I went to get dinner for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then I would take a minute or two to look at the cars outside.
One's nice.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely notices the fact that there's 2 new cars, and one of them is a big, blocky SUV. Typical. And the other one was actually a pretty damn nice-looking antique. Looks like
Carson feels a tremor in the force. he feels somebody complimenting his car.
Yeah. I mean, he takes note of it and then runs it through his mind, what type is it, and
I'll figure out something and I'll let y'all know.
I'm really bad with cars, so don't ask me.
I'm like, it looks cool.
Seeing that, though, he does recognize that, my partners have probably arrived. So he's gonna go in, and he stands in the doorway, about a second or two too long for it to be normal. Taking a look around, really sizing the place up, basically. And he says out loud, well, once you've seen one of them, you've seen them all, I guess. As he just walks in towards the end, he doesn't even stop at the desk, he just says out loud to the clerk, Julian Reyes.
They hold up a finger to stop you, and then they kind of nod, like, okay, we were expecting 3 people, you must be the third. And they just kind of motion, keep going, you're good.
No, I'll keep walking.
And then as you're hiding in the hallway, it's about maybe 5 or so rooms down. It's at the very, very, very end. There's some swing doors, and you see them currently swinging as Craig is waving someone into the room. And then they kind of go back to sulking in the corner as you approach the coroner's office.
Yeah, I ignore him.
Okay. He just gives you a nod as you head on in. And a man with a tan skin, pulled back hair, very, very, very thin beard. Not that he can't grow it, he just probably keeps it short for intentional reasons. He's kind of going over, well, he basically told you, Margot, since you arrived so early, he'd like to wait for everybody to arrive just because it's tedious to go over information multiple times. But would you have asked him anything else? I don't know if Margot cares, or if you just would have waited.
I would sigh loudly and then wait.
Fair enough. All right, now that all of you are here, though, he gives the three of you...
come in loudly eating, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. He kind of gives you a look and goes, hey, friend, try to keep the food near, and he motions like a back area, away from the body, yeah? I mean...
And it's rude not to bring any for all of us to share.
And he'll keep eating. And it's also rude to call me in on my free day.
I'm not part of that. Don't shoot the messenger, friendo.
Shrug.
I shrug too. I can feel that.
He shrugs too. He's like, hey, I don't work here. I don't live here. They called me in too the last second. I pissed off Mr. Salty outside. A little sourpuss. I mean, no offense, of course. He seems like a nice individual, but yeah, he kind of looks out the window and you see Craig looking through like one of the little circular domes, and he like pulls his head back. He's just been kind of staring at me the entire time. He's, seems like a nice dude, but really attached to his job. Anyway, I assume we all know why we're here.
All I know is there's a dead body.
Honestly, I don't know.
That's usually why we're here.
Called in for cases.
Correct.
Oh.
He points to not a child. He's, 19, 20 years old, kind of a bushy hair, but he is very, very much a dead. And he points to the wall where other bodies are stored. He says, we've already looked over the family. What would you like me to go over first? It's complicated, unfortunately.
Who, where, and how, in that order.
All right, well, the who, he points to the body on the table. This here is Alex Reed. He's the one that was mentioned. He just recently came back from college. I think they're on break or whatever. And like I said, I don't know much about the people here. That's primarily why you folk are here, but looks back at the window. Craig's not watching, so looks back to you guys. He's definitely trying to keep it down. I'm here to look at the odd, and as are you. He apparently killed his entire family, all of the Reeds, and his neighbors, the Crabtrees. Do you want me to go over the other victims or him first?
Did he kill himself after, or did he just die?
It's believed he killed himself, yes.
Start with the other victims.
Alrighty. Well, let's see. We have the Reeds, mother and father, Frank and Darcy. Alex was the son, Greta, the daughter. And then the Crabtrees. We have Clyde and Francine, and their son, Milo. The whole area is just an absolute mess. They're closed up by police tape currently. With your guys' cover, I guess on the note of cover, how are you guys doing this? FBI? Something else fancy? Y'all can do whatever you want, realistically.
We'll figure that out when we know what type of cover we're going to need.
Yeah, that works. I mean, we can cover for you. You know how it works here. I will say at this scene, though, I heard, from the pictures at least, that there's a weird lack of blood, at least compared to the weapon used and how these people were killed. There's, a decent amount. There was, 7 bodies found?
And they were all in the same place, or?
Well, the Reeds were found in their home, and the Crabtrees were found in their home.
And how much distance is that?
They're neighbors, so right next door.
Okay. Was there any reason that the neighbors would have been targeted?
That's what you guys are here for. I have no idea, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Do we know if they were, friends? Neighbor friends? Or
I would assume so.
Or is that also for me to figure out?
Yeah, like I said, I'm here just to, give you the rundown of the body, effectively.
What did the bodies tell us?
Well, I'll jump to his, because his is the most concerning. Well, first and foremost, the reason why Craig was kicked out is there's 2 lines of pinholes running down both of Alex's arms. There's also, as he kind of walks up to the body and turns it over and points to his spine, he says, as you can see here, there's a larger line of holes running down his spine. They're a little hard to see. You probably wouldn't get them on first blush. The ones in the arm are especially hard to see. They're on the outside, by the way, not the inside. He kind of flips the arm over and shows you. He says they run rather deep. They go into the spine. The ones on the arm, though, they don't pierce all the way through. They go about halfway.
Is that it?
Oh no, there's more. You can see here, he kind of pulls up just the general state of the body. His right wrist here is dislocated. The bone is strained, not broken, but something must have happened to it, whether he struck something hard, wood, metal, whether they were fighting back, which is really difficult to see if they were, but I would assume they would have. This happened quickly and violently. And as you can very plainly see, I left it for last because it's the most boring detail, but the most obvious. He points to his throat. This is Alex here, to my knowledge, died from a blood loss, from a slit throat. We're assuming that he cut his own throat. A knife was found next to his body on the floor. There was a knife next to his right hand. So it's presumed that he slit his own throat. We're not entirely sure why, but the blade, yeah, everything matches. So the wounds on the bodies match the blade. The wound on his neck matches the blade. But the cut itself is a really sharp, like 90-degree angle. It's almost perfect.
So it would have been hard to do it to yourself.
A little, some faint dangling. He cut, and he pauses to look at the body and kind of go over some photos, and he, shows you some. The body's had time to settle, but and he shows you an image of how deep the cut is, and it almost went to his spine, like to the bone. And he shows you just like it's a really deep cut.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if a person could do that to themselves.
That's why we're here. The last little odd bit of fun information is, well, like I mentioned, the amount of blood found at the scene, at least according to the police and looking at a lot of these photos, doesn't seem enough, I guess. And blood from the victims, all 6 of them, 6, was found on his shoulders, on Alex's shoulders.
And when you say there was not really enough blood at the scene to match the wounds on the, for the amount of bodies?
Yes, at least it seems that way.
Does it look like the bodies are moved at all?
Pulls open a sheet and kind of flips through them. He's like, these photos aren't the best, unfortunately. And of course, the bodies have been moved, and he points back. He's like, I've already looked at them. There's one more detail I can add to those, but other than that...
And what's the one detail?
Well, I don't know how to describe this precisely. It's a bit weird. Near some of the deeper knife wounds, there's not necessarily I guess... see, I don't know if they're pinpricks. It almost looks as if they were stabbed once with the knife. And it went into... this thing was like a 9-inch, 8-inch knife. It was rather large. Probably used for cooking, one would assume. But near each wound, there were tiny little stabs, almost as if Alex stabbed them I'm saying, 1/8 of an inch in? It's weird, doesn't make any sense. And each stab wound has, I don't know, 6?
So each stab wound has 6 smaller wounds around it?
Yes.
Were they only stabbed once?
Oh no, they were stabbed multiple times. They were killed very quickly.
So the marks that Craig was saying that he found on the inside of the arm, what were those caused by?
So Craig said he found the same little pinholes. There's 2 lines of pinholes running up the outside of Alex's arm.
Just Alex's, though.
Just Alex's. And they're specifically like pinholes. Really, really, really tiny. As if you got a shot from one of the newer needles that are real tiny. And just two. They're about an inch or so across. And they go from his wrist all the way up to basically where his shoulder is.
Were the victims stabbed in specific locations that repeated across the victims, or just randomly across them all?
That's an interesting question. I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind Craig working in here with me, but he's not allowed to for many winks. He's like, you know why?
Wow.
I'm slightly busy, so it's difficult to tell. If you guys wouldn't mind looking at some of the photos and such, you can probably parse out some information if you like. Of course.
I hold my hand out. Bodies.
I hold my hand out for some notes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are here. You can look at the notes. You can look at the bodies. You're more than welcome to. I'm still trying to do the technically, legal stuff. I can't just, look at the weird, spooky holes in this kid's body and like peace out. I have to actually finish this report. So I'll be here a little while, but I can answer any other questions you have, of course.
So the stab wounds are surrounded by a series of smaller stabs?
They look like smaller stabs, yes. Except, so if, let's say the stab is vertical, each of these stabs are like equidistant from the hole. All of them are. And they're running perpendicular. And if any of you would like to look at the bodies or the notes.
I'm going to look at both of them.
All right. Well, that sounds like we doing a roll. Sounds like we investigating.
Alex, it's presumed that he slit his own throat, right?
Yes.
But the stab wound is almost exactly 90 degrees.
Yes, it's 90 degrees from his body.
And it's incredibly deep.
Right. It literally goes to the bone, to the point where there's a chunk taken out of the bone, and it's perfectly 90 degrees.
I do not think that is. Sorry. I'm just surprised that they're like, oh, that's definitely something he did to himself, because I don't think I would ever think that. Anyway, if somebody else wants to take a look at the body or the notes first, I'll come by in a second.
Whoever would like to look, you are more than welcome to roll Investigate a Mystery.
Ooh, which body are we looking at first?
You can roll
the neck cut.
Yeah, so you can look at his body, and that'll be a roll. You can look at the notes, or you can look at the physical bodies of the family. Your choice.
I'll do the bodies of the family.
Okay.
That's Investigate a Mystery.
Bingo.
Off to a good start.
Alrighty, that's a failure. Go ahead and mark experience, Margot. See, you'll level just fine.
Wait, we're starting with 0 experience, right? I still have 2.
That's fine. So they're starting with 0 if they have 0. But whatever you have, keep that. We're starting from everything else being normal, though. So your luck is reset to 0. So whatever you have, keep it. It's fine.
Okay, and I technically need 10 experience points now, right?
Correct. So whenever you fill that bar up, write somewhere that you have 1 experience point, or 1 experience, point, whatever you're going to call it. You need 2 experience points now to gain a new thing.
Okay.
Maybe we'll call it something different, but yeah.
Can I investigate?
Yeah, go for it. I'll pretty much answer Margot's last. Carson, what were you looking at?
So Margot is over by the family members?
Yeah, learning nothing and pretending that I did.
Okay, well, since she looks like she's very busy, I was going to go over to Alex and investigate.
Okay.
His body.
Alrighty. And as mentioned before, we're using the slightly different version of Investigate a Mystery. So that basically grants you 1 generic question.
Okay.
So what do you want to know? Remember, I'll be nice with these. You can't waste a question. If it's dumb or I've already answered it, I'll just say pick a different question.
So he has a ton of blood all over his shoulders, but it's everybody's shoulders? Like blood from everybody?
Yes, blood from all victims are on his shoulders. It's like mixed.
That was my main question about Alex. He's got all of their blood on his shoulders. That's very odd to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure how I can use that to ask a question, though.
I mean, I guess, like, does it look like if it's splashed there, or
does it look like it? Or are we talking like, Carrie with blood all over her, dumped later or whatever?
Yes.
Does it look like it was?
I'm wondering if maybe there was a mouth there, and that's where the blood went.
A mouth?
Yeah, like, I mean, 6 marks around a big one. That's kind of leechy, isn't it?
Oh,
not much blood on the scene.
So
fighting a Dracula.
Do they have the knife that Alex supposedly used?
They do,
and it did prove to be the murder weapon.
It is indeed the murder weapon. Yes, it's the weapon that was used on his throat, and it's the weapon that was used on everybody else.
That does sound a little leechy, Melanie. Is there any way of telling whether or not those smaller perpendicular stabs were post the initial stab?
Yes, so you can definitely ask like a generic question. So you can say, I want to know more about the blood on his shoulders. You can ask a question like that. That's perfectly fine. You can say, because you only get 1 question. So you could say, I want to know more about the knife, or more about the, I guess the weird holes on his victims. So
I want to know. Sorry, I'm trying to decide if I actually want to know more about the smaller holes on everybody else, or more about the ones all the way down his arm. But I guess since I'm over by Alex, I'll ask. I want to know more about the wounds on his arm.
I mean, I was also going to ask about his neck cut anyway, so
Yeah.
assuming I roll well.
Okay, so are you both looking at Alex then?
Yeah.
Oh, if that's the case, go ahead
Jay-
and roll Jay, because you're both looking at the same time. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I would have asked for the knife, basically.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, the failure for you, Margot, you're looking over all these bodies and you're going in in crazy detail, but there's so much to look at. It's going to take up a good portion of your time, and you're not going to find anything.
Okay.
But you're going to think you found something. So,
Hey guys, look! Oh wait, never mind.
effectively, Jay, you got a 9, mixed success.
Yes.
So as the two of you are looking, since we know you'll also get a question because you are two looking at the same time. Carson, your question was regarding the little pinholes on his arms.
Yeah.
What more did you want to know about those?
I want to know if it looks like something was attached or if something was injected.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that.
Yeah. Looking at the report, it doesn't necessarily seem that anything was injected with a needle, but looking around the skin and the hair, you can see somewhat of a disturbance, and it's equidistant on both arms, and it kind of wraps around to almost the under part of his arm, his inner arm. So where the hair meets the under part of your arm that's soft and has no hair, it almost looks like a really crazy adhesive tape was just ripped off and took all the hair off there. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. So the hair is really spotty.
Would it be like too much of a jump to think that there was something attached to him then?
That's not too weird.
And I guess that might make sense if
Does it look like
the way that his throat was slit then, if there was something else doing it from behind him.
And that's what I was going to ask.
All right, and then what is your question, Jay?
Does the neck wound look self-inflicted? Because Jay has been around, he knows no things like that.
If you've seen someone slit their throat before, they would have had to be on some crazy drugs to cut this deep and that perfectly.
Yeah.
Very abnormal.
Yeah, it's definitely not normal. Usually it's more jagged, more teary. This is a perfect
Too
cut.
perfect and too deep.
Yeah, it almost looks like a butcher's knife. Like he was laid down and someone just thunk right in his throat.
Does the knife itself look like a particularly sharp knife, or is it just your generic kitchen knife?
It's actually a pretty high quality kitchen knife, and it was sharp. It's taking a little bit of a beating now.
Are we sure that
Definitely some bone with it.
that the same knife that stabbed the people is the knife that cut his throat?
Yes, they verified it's the same knife.
Okay.
And
some deep cuts. Usually, the moment you cut your neck, you don't have the strength to, keep cutting this deep.
Precisely. So, Margot, I will allow you one question, but my answer might not be clear. So, with all these bodies, what were you thinking? What are you looking for exactly?
Oh dear God, I need to think about that.
You can always ask later. Not a big deal. But y'all see, this is probably going to take a while. I'm about to say 30 minutes to an hour or so. With Margot looking over the bodies, definitely closer to an hour of us looking over the bodies and such.
Are we also allowed to go over to the other victims, or is that something that we are not allowed to do?
The other bodies of the family members?
Yeah, because me and Demons looked at Alex.
Yes.
Would it be okay for us to go look at the rest of the victims?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I remember no question.
Okay, what was your question?
I wanted to know if the knife wounds targeted specific areas on everyone.
That's a wonderful question. Carson and Jay, are you both looking at all the bodies of the family members?
Yeah, I'll be moving on to them, yeah.
Okay.
I would be looking at their effects.
Okay, you two roll as well, and then maybe that'll help Margot's answer a bit. I don't want to give Margot a BS answer just to give one of you a correct answer. Alrighty.
No.
Jay, that's a 6.
Nothing on them.
Go ahead and mark experience. All right, a full success. So Carson, you can either ask a very pointed question with great detail or 2 generic questions.
Well, what were the questions you wanted to ask, Melanie? I'll decide if they're worth it.
I wanted to know if the stab wounds were targeting the same areas, like heart,
same areas of the body.
Yeah, heart, liver, lungs.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Let's say that. Are the stab wounds in the same area on each body, or are they all different?
Are the stab wounds anatomically significant?
Great,
That is a good wording for that question.
great question.
Yeah, look at that is a good question.
It can be in depth, so make it in depth.
And I can give a great answer to that. So, Margot, you might be getting in the way a little bit of Carson. I don't know if you want to describe, but like you don't have all the bodies like out, but you're looking at a lot of information while they're both looking at Alex. So you think you got this down, Margot, and like you're trying to piece things together. And Carson, you move in to help, and you determine pretty quickly, actually, with an overview, that it looks like each victim was targeted efficiently, so efficiently. It's almost like they were stabbed in the area most likely to bleed out.
So that could even be like major veins, right?
Specifically,
like arteries.
Specifically, the wrist area, some like places in the neck, directly in the heart. Nowhere in like the nowhere in the intestinal zone. Yeah, inner thighs. Nowhere in the intestinal area was anyone stabbed. So there would be no like fecal matter or anything or intestinal junk mixing with the blood.
So nothing that could mix. Yeah, okay. I was just gonna say so it wouldn't be able to mix with the blood.
Right, pure blood.
Sounds a little. Melanie.
What?
Your little leech thing sounding a little more plausible.
I mean, it's definitely not a leech, but it's definitely something leechy / parasitic, I'm thinking.
He definitely likes blood. So all stab wounds were targeted in places in close to arteries.
Yeah,
or
quickly fatal areas. Like to be clear, if you were stabbed in any one of these areas and did not receive immediate medical attention, you would bleed out within the minute.
Okay.
But each of people were stabbed multiple times in each area. So it's almost like you slit someone's throat and let me also stab you in the thigh for some reason and also in the heart. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, so there are multiple major stab wounds on the body, but they're all located in the high... God, there's a word for that. I cannot think of it, though.
High lethality?
Yeah, but specifically places where...
Where the red stuff go?
No, there's a word that's like... I don't know. I know what you're saying. I just wanted it to like make sense in my notes, but I can't think of what that word is.
Next time you take a shower, it'll come to you.
Vital points, maybe.
Yeah. Alrighty. So with everyone looking, maybe we get a little bit of experience of too many cooks. So we kind of bump into each other a little bit, but we get the answers we need. And in terms of their affects, Jay, what was on them? Very, very normal stuff. It looks like, in fact, they didn't have their wallets on them. They didn't have keys on them. It looks like they were just relaxing, realistically. In a lot of areas where they
just came in.
Yeah, basically.
It makes sense. They were found at their homes, right?
Yeah, they were found in their homes. So no one had their wallets, keys. They had their phones on them. They had some of them didn't have their phones on them because they were most likely playing with them at the time and they dropped them. So that's understandable. Someone was like working, so the pen wasn't on them, but it was like nearby, so they were writing things like that, but nothing major, honestly. And other than that, Julian basically let you guys know if you want to hit up the town, you want to go to to deep into Russell Springs and start talking to folk. There are people that are more than willing to talk to you. There are folk hanging outside the house, people just in the general villa. So,
can I ask Julian if there was any other substances found?
Such as what?
Like saliva or just anything weird around like the blood. Smaller stab wounds, like the little ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He lets you know he hasn't tested for it yet necessarily, but he can go back and do a comb over. It'll take him some time. So, he has your guys' number. So he can call you guys if you want. If there's anything you need him to find, so you guys can contact your handler whenever you'd like. You can call them with any information. If you need assistance, you can contact Julian if you need any assistance. He has your number. You have their number. And you guys can realistically, as long as you all agree, say, hey, we're with blank, as long as that makes sense.
Can I contact Giles from Buffy and see if there are any weird blood-sucking creatures that have tentacle arms?
That's actually Kaiba, by the way.
Actually, not Kaiba is not disposed right now.
Wait,
that too.
You mean Kaiba is Giles?
Yeah, he's like a Giles.
Okay, for some reason I was like, you mean he's the vampiric creature with tentacle arms? I was sorry.
He was in a cult at some point.
Who wasn't in a cult at some point?
True. Well, Jay wasn't, but that's a different story.
All right, I'm gonna ask Julian to look into that.
Yeah, he'll definitely look into that for you.
In conjunction with whether or not there's any other substances.
Yeah, definitely. He'll check for He'll check in their blood to see if there's any drugs or anything, if there's saliva, anything that shouldn't be near wounds or in them. But there's a lot of bodies, so he'll be here a while.
So, are all the bodies there, including the neighbors?
Yep, all of them. He has all the Crabtrees on basically one side, and then he has all the Reeds on the other side.
Okay. So it was the Crabtrees and the
Reeds.
Are the houses available to be investigated?
If you'd like to, yes. And in general, just because we have all of Russell Springs available to us, we don't necessarily need to go to a particular area. You guys can just say we pile around town, either together or separately, just looking for folk that are willing to speak or have rather loose lips. And then I'll just throw an NPC at you guys and say, hey, they say this. So.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody want to go anywhere in particular?
Jay's just going to their home.
Yeah, I was
the
just
home sounds good.
All right, so let's head over there. Does anybody want to talk to the neighbors, maybe? Anybody here a smooth talker? Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's you. I'd also prefer to check out the houses first and then maybe ask the neighbors.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
All right, we can definitely head over towards the houses. Like I mentioned, they are basically cordoned off with police tape, but if you guys, have a badge or something, then you can get in or just sneaky. Totally up to you. Like I said, they can forge stuff for you guys.
GM?
Yes.
I'm re-looking at my skills to see if I miss anything. At the beginning of the mystery, I can roll for extra info. Is it too late to do that?
You can go ahead and do that now. Also, call me Keeper, baby.
I almost called you Bunny, so shh.
Don't call me Bunny. That's not scary at all. I mean, it could be scary if you want it to be.
It could be scary. Imagine walking into an undisclosed building and just seeing a massive man-sized rabbit.
Exactly. The bunny man is a real thing.
The bun taker.
Okay. When you are in good standing with your sect at the beginning of each mystery, roll plus charm. On a 10, they provide some info useful. On a 7 to 9, you get a mission associated with the mystery, and if you do it, you'll get some info or help too. And then it says, if I fail the mission or refuse an order, you'll be in trouble with the sect until you atone. But that's after it says on a miss. So I don't know if that's included with the miss roll or the 7 to 9 roll.
That's miss. Yeah. So 7 to 9 is you get a mission associated with the mystery. And if you do it, you'll get some info or help. So they let you know, Margot, that if there is a nasty beastie running about, they would like you to procure it and bring it back. However you do that, please do so.
Why do they always want these damn things alive?
Not necessarily alive.
Because they're bad people.
Now, alive would help because they can study it. Dead is fine, but they want it, whatever it is, brought back. You don't necessarily need to bring it back. Sometimes things will escape. So in order of, yay, thumbs up to Margot, alive, dead, you didn't get it at all. So if there is something to get, please do so. Yeah.
It says I get a mission associated with the mystery, and if I do it, I'll get some info or help. By the time we actually catch the damn thing, the mission will be over.
I will say this. If you determine what you're looking for, you can call in to I.C.S. and say, hey, I think we're looking for a blank, or it is blank adjacent, right? You don't need to come up with a name like, oh, we're fighting a vampire. That's fine. Or, something weird. You can just say, hey, I think it's like a sea creature or something of some variety. Could you help me with this? And they would say yes or no. So you can call that in whenever you'd like. They're assuming you're going to do this. If you call in help and you fail, then Margot's going to the corner.
What? That's on a miss. You just said so.
No, it says they want you to do the mission. So if you call the thing in and you completely fail, then they won't be very happy. It's nothing horrible. I'm joking. They'll be unhappy.
I'm real tempted to get rid of this skill. I don't think this is a good skill.
Paperwork.
Yeah, it might be tough.
Not paperwork. Oh, God.
Okay, but this does tell us that it's definitely a creature.
Yeah, so if, like I said, if there's a creature present, they'd like you to call it in, and you're correct. After you succeed, you get a question. That's silly. So if you ask for resources and then you still don't provide Margot, they'll make you do paperwork or something stupid, basically. Other than that, yeah, the three of you are more than welcome to head over to the home. And some of the officers kind of give you guys a wave. They seem happy you guys are here. In fact, someone offers they can show you to the home if you'd like, and they can help you. But you don't have to accept it if you don't want to.
I don't let other people drive me, sorry.
Oh, you know what? I love to create good relationships, so I tell them I'll follow them there.
All right, cool. Do you want them to stay or just drive you there?
Just drive us there.
Okay. One of the officers is, like I said, more than happy to lead you guys to the home of the Reeds. And as mentioned before, right next door are the Crabtrees. You can see that both homes are completely taped off from top to bottom. It looks like both of them definitely had some money. They weren't super rich, but both are 2-story homes.
Very suburban.
Very suburban, correct. And it takes a little time to get here, but when we do, they kind of give you guys a quick nod, a wave, and they don't drive off. They kind of park across the street to not like watch you guys, but to make sure no one either interferes with you all, or in case another cop comes by. Like, why are all these cars parked in front of this not active crime scene, but yeah, effectively active crime scene? We need to bust our way in. So they're basically going to chill outside to make sure you guys don't get bothered. So
that's fine.
You guys can do what you want. They trust you.
All right. I guess we should go to. Actually, was Alex found in his family's house?
Alex was found in the Crabtree's home.
Okay, so he clearly went from one house to the other.
Seemingly.
Well, seemingly. So I think that we should start in his house and then move over to the Crabtrees.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. As you guys head on in, one of the first things you notice is these houses are, as I said, placed side by side. The Crabtrees to the left and the Reeds to the right. Something we instantly see is it looks as if the window to the living room of the Reeds was broken outward towards the Crabtree.
So this is the Reed's house?
Yes, and as you guys,
which window is it?
As you guys open the door and look on through, you can see that it's like a living room, kitchen kind of combination. It's very open floor plan. There's tape everywhere. You can tell that the father was most likely in the kitchen at the time. The mother was traveling from the living room. The TV is knocked over to the kitchen, so there's some things still dropped. There's outlines where their bodies were found, and it looks like it happened quickly. The father was found, like I said, in deeper into the kitchen, and the mother looks like as if she dropped something going to the kitchen. I mentioned they had a daughter named Greta. She's not found on this floor, but looking about, you can see the stairs that head upward, and there's a trail of blood heading up the stairs.
Not a lot of blood, right?
Not as much, no. It's very little. It's fingerprints or footprints headed down. And
footprints headed down.
Yeah, the way they're angled, they're very clearly headed down the stairs.
So trail of blood heading upstairs, but footsteps heading downstairs?
Sorry, I phrased that wrong. The trail of blood is clearly coming downstairs.
Could we say that it started upstairs then and then went down?
That would logically make sense.
And broke out through that window?
That would logically make sense, yeah. It looks like the window is in a little corner nook where they would have a little breakfast nook, if anything. It looks like they broke out that window where they would have pretty easy access to the backyard of the Crabtrees.
Okay. So let's go find Greta, or where Greta was.
Kitchen for the knives, actually.
Good idea.
All right.
I'm going to head upstairs, though.
Sure. Jay, you find pretty quickly while walking around the bodies, and like I mentioned, there is blood, but there's a surprisingly somewhat questionable lack of it. There's still enough that they clearly bled out here, but moving into kitchen, it doesn't look like anyone was cooking. If anything, they were, having snacks and watching something. But it looks as if one of the knives is indeed missing. The rest seem undisturbed.
Oh, they got the knife from the kitchen and then went upstairs. Interesting. And then I'll go upstairs with the rest.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm gonna stay downstairs and I'm gonna look around the usual hiding places for people because he used to be a burglar. And every house has, the places where people hide stuff.
Oh, yeah. And there are definitely some locations for that. There's nobody hiding in the house. They're not really hiding anything in particular. Maybe some snacks, maybe some, candy bars you find that probably shouldn't be there. So someone was hiding something fancy, but nothing, no drugs, no guns, nothing crazy. Heading upstairs, though, you guys do find that one of the doors was not broken open, but it looks like there was a bit of a struggle. The frame doesn't seem smashed or anything, but this is very clearly Greta's room. And it looks like she died while she was still on her computer. There's blood sprayed all over the screen. The chair looks like it's spun back towards one of the windows, and her body was found just in front of her desk.
Can I investigate the room?
What are you looking for?
So it looks like she was surprised, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually...
Is it visible from which side the struggle was with the door?
Looking, I say, close at the knob and the frame, it looks as if she probably had her door locked, just not to be bothered. But a lot of home locks are really easy to break. Just they're standard. So it looks as if someone shook the door rather rapidly and just kind of popped it open from the outside.
So we can infer that he forced the door open, she spun around, and then he attacked her.
Looks about right, yeah.
And she died before she could even probably get up and scream, I guess.
No chance to move.
How big is the room? Like, how
say
long would it take a person to get from the door to her?
3 long strides.
Can I go to Reed's bedroom?
Looking into Alex's bedroom.
I want to join that too.
As two of you head into Alex's bedroom, the door is completely undisturbed. It is indeed open. Doesn't look like any locks or anything were broken or jostled or anything of that nature. While looking around the room, though, you can indeed see that very obviously this kid was into music. He actually liked music quite a bit. He has a somewhat portable piano. You guys have seen the ones with the foldable, stand, and I forgot what they're called, but the brand that everybody has, or every like youth group has one of those pianos. And
the one that I have.
Yeah, probably we had one. So the church didn't want it. So like, here, I have a piano. I was like, sweet, sure. And proceeded not to play it.
As one does.
Yeah, you see that first and foremost. He has a couple vinyls that are like up on the wall in replace of art. He also has his computer, but it's much smaller than Greta's, so he probably wasn't on it quite as much. And he had some music placed out. Other than that, besides just being a general fan of music and, your average movies for a 19-20-year-old, he's got some posters up. His room seems pretty much undisturbed.
So it seems undisturbed.
Yeah, his bed's a little messy, though.
He said he came back from college. I want to look at his luggage and maybe see if he went somewhere, like maybe a vacation or an outing with friends or some sort of big event where he could have come into contact with potentially something weird.
Sure.
Yeah, and I guess I'm going to look at
Or drugs.
So you said his...
drugs.
I'm going to look for drugs. I want to see if he was on I don't know. I'm not a drug person.
That's fine.
I do. Can I do I know you said it was largely undisturbed. Could I do a closer look and see if there's anything that seems out of place?
Very much so, yeah. Go ahead and roll investigate a mystery for me. And looking through his packaging, looking at his, okay, I almost said something even worse. Looking at his luggage.
Don't look at the dead boy's package, please.
Yeah, I'm about to say, looking at his package. No, okay, Margot. Let's not, though. Looking at his luggage, Margot, he completely cleared it out. So all of his clothes are put away. In fact, there's nothing on his floor. No dirty clothes. They're all put away. You notice. So whatever was in there is out. It was actually pushed away into his closet.
Does he have any souvenirs?
From college or in general?
Just in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he wasn't a big traveler, but, standard knickknacks and such.
Well, yeah, but I mean, souvenirs too. I want to see if he's been somewhere weird.
From what you can tell, no. He had nowhere strange. He probably wasn't too much of a
Did he
traveler.
go to the Hellmouth?
No Hellmouth. Not yet, at least. From what you can tell, he was a pretty chill kid. While looking through his drawers and such, Carson, you do find a little bag of weed, but it is quite small.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Let's be honest.
Fairly normal. No hard drugs though, so nothing too crazy. He was bit by the level's Dennis, the weed demon.
Demon.
Okay, don't know this for sure, obviously, but on the thought process that it's a leech or a parasite of some kind, he didn't go anywhere watery.
Not that you can tell, no.
Or jungly.
No. To see if anything's out of place, though, Carson, you can go ahead and roll investigate a mystery.
I did roll.
You did. I'm dumb.
Look at my sweet little 11.
It is an 11. Shoot, I should put timestamps on. That's my bad.
I did kind of roll it in the middle of talking, so
you're good.
That's my bad.
I have dice off, so I don't see them roll because they go bloop every single time, and I don't want to hear that.
That's fair.
It's kind of annoying. Anyway, boom, an 11. All right, so I kind of did this in our other game. If you don't really know what you're looking for, but you do. You said you're looking for any disturbances, right?
Yeah, anything that seems odd or out of place.
Okay, cool. Something you do notice while looking around the room is his room is actually really tidy. It's actually very clean. His music is all alphabetical by artist and then by piece.
Is that odd? Because that's how I do it.
Not necessarily, but it's only odd because you notice his window is unlocked.
Window unlocked.
And
Okay.
it's slightly open, just a smidge. But his bed is a mess. Upon entering this room initially, you probably would have guessed this kid was indeed a mess. And it looked like he had clothes on the floor, but he didn't. It looks like he kicked off the comforter from his bed. And
Like he was hot?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's kind of warm already. Like, weather-wise, it's pretty hot here. But
Does it look like it was really sweaty?
yes, the covers look a little wet, as if something was wet on them that had dried. And not in the gross way, but like an abnormal amount of wetness.
More so than even like being really sweaty.
Yeah, he doesn't just have like chronic sweat syndrome.
Okay, so does it look like it dripped down from the ceiling?
Not that you can tell, no. In fact, looking real close at the window, it almost looks as if the carpet was disturbed from the window to the bed.
So something came in.
Potentially.
Is there anything outside the window? He's on the second floor, right?
Correct. Hanging your head outside the window, you don't see anything instantly, but because you rolled an 11, upon looking down, you can see tiny little like chips, little cuts into the siding of the house.
So something climbed up.
Like footprints?
Not footprints. They look specifically like a small set of claws. Really, really tiny though.
Can I take pictures?
You can, yes. They're really hard to see. This is like a vinyl siding, so it looks as if they like slid in like a knife through butter. So they didn't crack the siding and just like stick, real subtle.
So there's small chips on the outside like siding.
Yeah. The vinyl siding in the house has these little like cuts, and you can't see all the way down, of course. So you guys can head downstairs and check, but you can see at least 3 sets going down from the window to the first floor.
Can I check if the window was forced open or if it was just open?
Well, the window was unlocked, right?
Yes, it looks like it was unlocked.
Yes, but was it forcefully unlocked?
From what you can tell, it was not forcefully unlocked. And were you to look around the house and just kind of do some general investigation, you'd see that pretty much all the windows are actually unlocked.
Wait. All the windows are unlocked.
Easy neighborhood.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, actually, that's kind of weird to me though that the window's unlocked, but not the door. But maybe that's just me. But you said the small cuts on the vinyl siding were going out and down or coming up into the room.
It looks like they were coming up, but you can only see 3 sets down, as you'd have to be really hanging out the window to see more.
I kind of want to look out the window to see more.
Oh no, what I mean is like you'd have to be hanging like by your feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you could be outside with a camera or something, like zoom in and see if you could see something, or just be outside in general. What I mean is from this window, it's just physically impossible for you to see anymore.
I mean, I'll head down and look outside. I want to see if there's maybe tracks outside.
Sure. And knowing this, there aren't really any tracks you can follow like through the grass or through the bushes or anything. But you do indeed see, kind of coming up from the side of the house, these little, like, once again, unless you're looking for them, you would have never seen these. But when you push on the vinyl, you see little slits, and they're in groups of 6. Just boop in, and then boop in, and boop in, going all the way up to his window.
Question.
Answer.
Is that the same pattern or a similar pattern to the stab wounds on the bodies that have those little cuts on the outside?
Yes.
Okay. So whatever climbed up there is what caused those smaller cuts.
That would make sense.
Okay. So small cuts on vinyl siding that match perpendicular stabs. You're taking pictures of those, Margot?
Yes.
All right. Is there any water anywhere else or anything that looks like it might have been wet at one point in the same way that Alex's bed was?
The carpet's a little crusty around the foot of his bed. Yeah, not great.
But probably related to that.
Potentially.
Right?
Potentially. You don't find it anywhere else. It's only from that gap from the window to his bed. Not a lot of it, but it sticks out.
So whatever it was could theoretically have attached itself to him. And then he went into... But actually, the knife was grabbed from the kitchen?
Yes.
Yep.
So
he
would
went
he have...
downstairs and went back up.
Yeah, he had to have gone downstairs. But there's no blood going upstairs, right?
Correct.
It's just blood coming downstairs.
He could have started upstairs.
just grabbed the knife and went back upstairs.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Actually,
creepy.
where is his parents found?
Both parents were found in the kitchen.
And yeah, and the mother was slightly between the kitchen and the living room, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go back downstairs to find Jay, unless I see anything else that's odd.
Nothing else that stands out.
All right. On the stairwell. Is it a stairwell? No, it's just stairs, right?
I'm not sure. But it's just a L-shaped stairs. They go up and they turn to the left.
I don't know why. I don't understand how a stairwell differs from a stairway. So there are footprints going down
Yes,
that match.
they do match his. Stairwell is more like something you find in a really tall, like, apartment.
Oh, that
like,
makes sense.
Yeah, literally imagine a well and just stairs going down. So
One is a room for stairs, other one is just the stairs.
yeah.
So
basically.
this is just a stairway.
Yep.
It's a hallway except with stairs, so it's a
Bingo.
stairway.
Well, can I follow Alex's footsteps?
Yes, and if you do, they lead straight to the living room and then straight to the kitchen, and then after that to the window.
So presumably it was Greta, mother, father, Crabtrees?
So that doesn't make sense, though. He went
Well-
downstairs for the knife, went back upstairs to kill Greta, and then came back down for mom and dad. And mom and dad didn't notice him coming down and going back up.
Well, there was also the window that was blown out to the outside.
Yeah.
So that window would have been last, and then Crabtree's
Would it have
dead.
been? Like, how does the blood trail relate to that? Like, does it go down the stairs and then straight out the window? Does it lead anywhere?
It looks as if the window was last, yeah. And there's also a chair that looks like it was broken. So the chair was probably used just to smash through the window.
Okay.
The legs are broken, at least.
So
We couldn't figure out doors, okay.
Yeah, that's my question. Is there a corresponding window broken on the Crabtree's house?
Are you guys heading that way now?
Well, I wanted to look outside to see if I could find footprints, maybe, of where the creature had come from in all the grass blades.
yeah.
Sure. So,
It's like following his path, basically, trying to.
yeah, so
Yeah.
reversing that path, you don't see anything. It must have blended in really well with the grass because it's almost impossible to see. Like, probably something moved through here. It could be a dog, a cat, anything.
I figured.
Yeah.
Yes, it was pretty impossible to see the siding anyway. I probably would not have seen that unless if I didn't roll high, right?
Yeah, that was really hard
Yeah.
to see. You basically had to like look over and then like push on the siding to see that there was like slits already there.
Interesting. All right. Is there anything with the parents that looked out of the norm, like in the room? Did it look like there was a scuffle?
They honestly look mostly surprised. Like I said, the other knives are undisturbed, so they didn't go to defend themselves. It looks like it happened so quick and so shockingly that they didn't have time or didn't want to defend themselves. It's difficult to tell, though.
Depressing. I think we should move on.
Way ahead of you. Jay's already inside the other house.
Incredible. Did he break in?
I mean, if the door wasn't open, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna follow Jay then.
Alrighty.
Oh, I'm gonna call out to Margot. Or Margot's already outside.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll follow over when I see you going over since there's too much grass in the way.
So the path in question you guys asked about, there are some blood, little, speckles leading from the broken window to the backyard of the Crabtrees. And you can see that this door is like cracked open, but there's tape on it almost to say that the door, once I cracked open, I mean, you could fit through if you were to slide sideways. But the screen looks like it was torn, cut with a knife, and then someone slipped on through, ripped it open.
So wait, green door was
Yeah, so there's a back door in their backyard, a sliding glass door, which was open, but there was a screen door to just allow the nice breeze in. It looks like someone cut that door and then just moved through it.
this sucks because I actually love screen doors.
I do, and little bugs don't get through them.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about big knife wielding bugs?
Those are the worst.
Okay, so what is the scene when we go in through the back door?
You have to wriggle
Or
around
through
the...
the screen door.
Yeah, you got to wriggle around the police tape a wee bit, but we essentially see the same scene again, except someone did indeed try to defend themselves. There is more blood here, and I didn't mention it, but the bodies of the Crabtrees did have smaller cut marks, like on their wrists, or the outside of their arms, their hands, as if they were defending themselves. These obviously were not the kill shots, though, and they're few and far between, and to be expected. You can see that looking around, the perpetrator most likely got to each victim one at a time. The individuals living in the Crabtree home were Clyde, Francine, and Milo. Milo was the son, and Clyde and Francine were the parental units. It looks as if, from the pictures that you guys were able to look up, and the body outlines, Alex went straight for Milo, who is in their living room. You can see the controller that was plugged into the TV is completely just ripped out, possibly used to defend himself. It looks like it was like shattered. You can see that there are pushed over tables. There's a glass table that was like knocked over to the side. You can
clear
see
struggle.
Very clear struggle, yeah. It looks most likely that Milo was taken out first, but Clyde was trying to most likely stop Alex. You can see various areas where people were definitely clearly pushed around. There's like, smashed pictures that have fallen over, chunks taken out of drywall, et cetera, things of that nature. And upon looking around this lower area, it looks mostly between a fight between Milo, Clyde, and Alex.
So Milo, Clyde, and Alex were the main struggle?
Yes. And since you guys looked over their bodies, Clyde was big enough to defend himself. Definitely. Milo was approximately the same age as Alex.
So if he was big enough to defend himself, how much struggle do we see? Like, can we tell he was easily overpowered, or did this guy put up a fight?
Judging by
there were a lot of hard struggle signs, right?
Yeah. Judging by Alex's body, you're not sure if Clyde put up much of a fight.
So you think Alex might have taken him out pretty easily?
It looks like it. It looks like there was a struggle, but it was fast and violent. A panicked struggle. This was not prolonged. It was quick, violent, and ended just as quick as it begun.
He also jiggled open a door and took like 3 strides to instantly kill his sister. So
yeah, it's definitely
inhumane.
Yeah, definitely an enhancement.
Clearly, well, we think something was on Alex, right?
Or in. Might explain why he cut open his neck, I guess.
Yeah, but he also had those things on his arms that made it look like something was like stuck on the outside. So it was Milo, Clyde, and who was the third person?
Francine, the mother.
And where was she? Is she not in this room at all?
Correct. From the report, we've determined that she died upstairs, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
Anybody else wants to look at the...
Yeah, I'll follow.
I'm gonna do the same in this house where I check the usual spots.
All right.
See if there's anything out of the ordinary at all.
As you guys head upstairs, there are, once again, traces of blood, except the footprints. Any hand marks or anything trail up, and up stairs. It looks as if Francine was hiding in the bathroom because no doors were touched. Most of them are open. The only one you can see is at the very end of the hall. There is a small door, and it looks like it just got blown inward. Someone rammed it, kicked it, something, but it's one of those hollow doors, and it looks like it's completely shattered.
So she hid because she heard the noise, maybe?
That would make the most sense.
Between Milo and Clyde? Okay.
Yeah, and gazing beyond, because the door really isn't there anymore, you guys can see that the curtain was torn down, and there's a bloody mess in the tub.
Can I investigate the area?
Nice question. Are there any lick marks in the tub?
Any what?
Any lick marks? Did he try to drink the blood?
Oh, yeah. Is there any sign that they were trying to get more of the blood that was spread around?
Not that you can see, no.
But she had those marks on her also with the...
Yes, all the victims had the same marks. You also see she tried to defend herself with a rather large pair of scissors. It would have done some damage, definitely, but looking at Alex's body, he didn't receive any wounds, so, besides the one.
So, was there anything on the scissors?
No, you can see that there's a little bit of like drywall stuck to them, as if she went to stab and was deflected, and you can see an inappropriate hole in the wall, so she tried to defend herself, just failed. Also, looking around the home, in the more sneaky spots, Mr. J, you do find a hidden half-drinking bottle of whiskey. But once again...
Take a swig.
Take a swig, it's good stuff. No question as to why they hid it. But other than that, nothing illegal. Nothing strange and outside the ordinary. They don't. Each home has a basement, but there's nothing down there. It's just used for storage.
Was there anything else
So
in the
Alex,
house?
Alex was the only one with the marks on his spine, right? Or did others have that?
No one had marks on their spine, and no one had the pin marks going up their arms except for Alex.
So he had the pin marks on both arms, though.
Yes.
Where was Alex in the end? Where was he found?
Alex was found in the bathroom along with her. Most of the blood probably was from him, but it's difficult to tell on first blush. It looks as if he dispatched her and then just ended it right there in front of her.
Can I investigate?
What are you looking for? I might be able to just give you the answer.
Whatever was, if there's any evidence that Alex had something on him that left.
Sure. Go ahead and roll investigate a mystery.
Oh, yeah, like more of those little sharp footprints.
Yeah.
So the body was found in this room, right? His Alex's body?
Correct.
In the bathroom, yeah.
Alrighty, looking around.
Oh, wait, where in the bathroom?
He was found in front of the tub.
In front of the tub? Where was Francine found?
In the tub.
So whatever it was took her out and then took Alex out.
I'm
Yes.
going to look for more of those marks and see if they left this room or if there's a nice exit, small hole,
Like
Yeah.
a drain?
window, drain, whatever.
Okay.
Something that had to have left Alex and gone somewhere else.
Since you guys are
I only got a
looking-
mixed success though.
Yeah, since you guys are looking for the same thing, go ahead and roll help out, Mr.
Me?
J.
No, okay.
Yeah, since she got a 9, this could bring her to a full success.
Me too or no?
Only one person can help out. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay. So that brings you to a full success. The two of you together, after looking around a bit, the room is a mess. It looks like, while he did dispatch her quickly, she flailed. She threw shit at him. The mirror is shattered. A lot of the little doors are open, maybe to slow him down from getting there. But a lot of the drawers that are opened outward snapped off with the force of him walking into them. It didn't seem to stop him
Supernatural.
or slow him down at all. But looking around all the splintered wood and just pieces of plastic and things that are everywhere, you actually notice on the ceiling, there's a few little holes. And these holes lead outward.
So wait, they're on the ceiling.
And they're further spaced, actually, than the ones you found, but they match the ones you found in the vinyl siding and in the bodies.
So it's ceiling leading out. Can we follow those?
Yes, were you to follow them, they head downstairs, and they look like they shoot out the backyard, most likely through the same entrance.
Is there anything outside that we can follow?
Once again, you basically lose the track once it hits the grass.
Because of the grass, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so small.
However, it traverses through this area, it must not need to leave these around.
All right.
Is the direction he escaped to, like the wall, the same direction as the wall where he entered in the other house?
You can't fully determine yes, but leaning towards yes. It's difficult to tell, but you're not sure if whatever this thing is would want to, completely break anyone following it, or if it just goes back to wherever it goes back to. But it looks as if yes.
Right, so both of these families were incredibly mundane, to the point where even I couldn't find anything. That's one. Something came inside, seemingly hijacked Alex, who went on a killing spree, and then whatever it was ran away again.
Was Alex also drained of blood?
To an extent, but not the same extent as the victims.
I just wonder why it chose then to kill Alex.
And why?
Like, why didn't it just
stop
keep
at 6?
going?
I mean, that probably makes sense if you think about it. If you had left him alive, you would have been able to talk.
Well, not so much. The question isn't necessarily that why did they keep him
Maybe.
alive, but why did it leave instead of continuing on?
My
Maybe it needs fuel.
my first assumption was it's about to procreate.
Ew.
Was Alex notably more drained than any of the other ones, or
No, he
That's
was
what I
less
thought.
drained.
less drained?
So he was basically just a puppet, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where all the pin marks are.
Yeah.
Along the spine, Same principle as with cars. If you want to hijack it, just push some wires together.
Could we have Julian check the contents of Alex's organs?
Yes, like the stomach and such.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can shoot him a quick call or a text and have him look at that as well.
I'll text him.
Okay. He says he'll swamped, but he'll get to it.
Put a rush on it, Julian. Come on.
I mean, if it's about to make some babies, put a rush on it, please.
Yeah, I mean, do you add anything weird like that?
Yes.
Okay, somewhat concerned, but sure.
I could totally be wrong, but just in case.
All right, he doesn't like the way that sounds, so he will.
So we've got a general idea of the direction it went in, but really nothing else.
Indeed. I will also actually say, Margot, roll me convince someone in that text. We'll see how quickly he decides to get this done for you. How's that sound?
Sure. Where's convince someone?
We're using that to replace manipulate someone. Alrighty, beautiful. Mark experience.
I guess I'm getting that skill I wanted sooner rather than later.
I mean, I told you, you get a lot of experience in this game. even with pluses and such, the dice will sometimes lean in the other direction. Alrighty, so he says he'll try to get that done for you, but he needs proof of something. So if you can give him good proof, he'll work on it, but he's really busy.
I don't think we have good enough proof. Just word of mouth right now.
I didn't realize you rolled
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Can I contact my guys?
Your guys being who?
My crew.
Yeah, you can.
Do you know that scene in Twilight where she goes on the computer and she just types in vampire? I want to do that.
Okay.
But I make my guys do it. My crew do it. I'm like, hey, can you Google this for me?
What are you having him look up?
I don't know. Giant leech creature that hijacks the human body.
Okay.
Might be closer to a centipede or something, honestly.
Ew. Sure. Let's say we have it's not Giles, but it is a database.
So the thing is, some character types are basically, I'm the database guy. So
Kaiba literally has that, yeah.
Yeah, Kaiba is literally
the extra net, effectively.
Yeah. And the thing is, while you guys can be that person, there are people that work at I.C.S. that do that, and you guys have resources that do that. So if you have a custom move for that, Carson, go for it. Otherwise, you can just roll convince.
Oh, I don't think I have a custom move for that.
I do.
I kind of wish I did, though. Wait, you have a custom move for that?
I'm going to ominously stand in the backyard and pull out a pocket watch and just ask him, any ID?
Already calling in a favor?
Yeah, like at this point, I'm not gonna like offer to steal anything yet, so I'm gonna roll normally, unless I roll terrible.
This one is it's basically past lives, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. I am very new to these, so I don't know how they work. All right, let's see. On a 7 to 9, it has a little experience with this. Ask the keeper one of the questions below. Alrighty, which question are you going for?
I'm gonna go with what important hidden secrets can the entity show me the way to? Because we have a general idea, basically, where he went. Give me a direction, effectively.
This thing probably likes or enjoys dark and cold places. Check with people around town to see if anyone knows anything or knows someone that could help with this.
And how does it let me know this?
Unless you have a selected way you want it to speak to you, I would say it's more of a feeling.
Yeah, usually if it has an answer for me, it will ring.
Okay.
Like a normal pocket watch does, and it'll like a random piece of paper or a document or anything with writing on it will like only for me have writing on it that like alludes to an answer.
Okay.
So maybe the police tape has like writing on it suddenly or something.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. After this thing rings, the flesh that is touching this pocket watch, it feels very, very cold. And you know that's trying to tell you that that's where this thing likes to be. And right now, as I mentioned, it's very warm. We're in the summer season, or at least coming down from the summer season. Looking around at the police tape, you just see names, tons and tons and tons of names. And you recall Julian and some of the police mentioned that you guys should probably ask around town. And you can determine, Jay, that these are most likely names of local just folk, other neighbors, people that are really close by, neighbors of both the Crabtrees and the Reeds. And you guys notice when you're looking around, there are people that are 100% rubbernecking, popping out their windows, just like casually mowing the lawn or picking weeds, ? But people are watching you guys. They're looking around. You guys have noticed that there's definitely people that are interested in what's going on here. Maybe not watching you, but watching the situation.
You said the thing likes cold, damp, dark places, or just cold, dark places?
Jay would know this, so it depends if he wants to share it with you or not.
Probably. Seems that it likes the dark and the cold and wet places. We should probably ask around, see if anyone knows anything about that.
Yeah,
Maybe
someone
check
familiar
the
with the
sewers.
geography.
Actually, are there sewers nearby?
I wouldn't say nearby, but there is a station where they mostly mess with the sewers, somewhere off the beaten path.
Sewers cold, and every movie I've ever seen them in, they're usually described as humid.
Yeah, they are. And during summer, they
I
can be
think
pretty
that
gross.
depends. I think that depends on the country, honestly.
Also
We don't
that.
heat our sewers.
That's fair.
So, as I mentioned before, if you guys wish to reach out to folk, you can basically just say, I check with the neighbors. You don't need to be super specific. I just have a list of NPC names. You can say, I check with a local coffee shop, whatever you want.
Jane, not being very good with people, is going to take his car out in a general direction and check out places that might be cold, damp, and dark.
And I'll ask Carson where they decide to go. Margo, how about you?
I kind of want to talk to some neighbors, but I'm not sure how much they're able to tell us. Especially since it's an outside thing that just kind of crawled in.
Have there been any other killings in the last? I don't know.
Oh, that's a good idea. I will pull a technique from Maverick's book, and who looks to be the nosiest neighbor?
Sure, you're looking for someone that's really sticking their nose out?
Yo, yeah, someone who's like, ooh, I do this a lot.
Alrighty, why not?
Usually an old granny, right?
You don't see an old granny, but you see...
a mom figure?
Yeah, you see an individual that's kind of poking her head out. She has glasses that are maybe a little too big for her face, which is pleasantly plump, and she's wearing her hair very, very normal down as she's kind of looking at you guys from a distance. But if you meet eyes with her, she'll pretend like she's organizing her garage, basically. You can't really tell what she's doing from a distance.
I will waltz right over to her.
Okay, she kind of pretends to ignore you and just continues doing what she's doing. Do you walk full onto her property?
Oh, yes.
She turns and gives you a quick wave and goes, oh, hi, hello there. I'm not sure we've been introduced. Can I do something for you?
Hi, ma'am. My name is Margo, and I'm with the, what do we call it, I.C.S? I'm with the I.C.S. Police Department.
Oh, not sure I've heard of that, but okay. Like the local police? Is that a new wing?
No, we're a specialized department.
Oh, like the FBI or something? Is this about...
Yeah, something about that.
And she points to the homes. Is this about the Alex boy and their family?
Yeah, we're investigating.
Oh, okay. What are you investigating exactly? Trying to see who did it? I mean, it was Alex, right?
I mean, signs point to it, but we don't know that for sure, ma'am. And I'm not at liberty to give away that much info.
That's fair. We haven't really had too many folk coming by to question. They've been really busy. Things like this just don't happen in our town. Just never. I've never seen anything like this ever before. It's really, really a tragedy. Alex was such a good kid. They keep saying it's him, but I find it really hard to believe that it was. There's just no way.
He was a good kid?
Oh, he was great. He was just an absolute sweetheart. He was so focused on his music, and he was so excited to be back and practice again with his teacher and just push the art forward. And I think they met up a few times, but it's just a real depressing time, honestly.
Did they ever meet up outside of town, maybe on the outskirts somewhere?
They being who?
Him and his teacher, or friends, maybe.
Oh, friends most likely, but he and his teacher had a very, very professional relationship. They're the Chambers. They're about a street or two up. You can't miss them. They'll have the window open, and Mr. Chambers has been in the spirits, one might say. So you'll hear the music from down the way, I'd say. Quite
In
beautiful.
the spirits, I see.
Oh yes. He and Alex are doing a great job.
Okay, give me a second. This lady's chatty.
All right, I'm back. What did I miss?
A chatty lady. I am trying to be sociable, even though charm is not my thing.
Oh, no.
See, this is why Jay went for a drive.
This is what I'm here for.
Well, this is exactly what I wanted. She's very chitty chatty. I got to think of what I wanted to ask exactly. I'm also trying to figure out if everything Hub says is relevant or if it's just fluff.
You'll never know.
I will never know until the mystery's solved. You said nothing like this has ever happened in the time before, and yet the cops are very busy. Are you sure nothing has happened before?
Well, I mean, I would assume they're busy just because, primarily, nothing like this ever happened before. They've never seen anything like this. Normally, it's cats stuck in trees or occasional fights. I don't know if, anything horrible has happened. They just completely, shelled it away so people like us couldn't see it. But to my knowledge, no. I think they're busy just because they're used to just little things, just tiny little things.
Yeah, I guess that would fit. They seemed very happy we were there. Well, okay. Do you happen to know any hangout places for kids their age?
Oh, I haven't been in college in quite some time, so I can't actually honestly say. But man, Alex and you mean the other kids as well, the ones that also died?
Yeah.
I mean, we have like a local coffee shop and kind of a little strip mall where people can hang out, little bookstore, but nothing too major. People usually leave if they want to, do something more fun. There's kind of I like our town. It's a little boring, but
More fun? You mean like Disney World?
that's a bit extreme, but sure.
Where else would they go?
Oh, well, I mean, there's other local towns that you could just swing by and they have, little conventions and things of that nature. Things are more pointed than just, go into your local shop just to read a book or something. We have signings occasionally if you're interested.
Are there any lakes or rivers to go hang out by?
Oh, like something more in the woods.
Yeah.
Somewhat close by, maybe about an hour or two away, but I've not been myself personally.
Are we in the Midwest?
Potentially.
You get an accent right near the end there, Ben.
That sounds straight Minnesota.
I noticed, yeah.
Just wondering if it was on purpose.
I go where the voice takes me.
She's from Minnesota now.
Apparently.
The end.
The council has decided.
All right. Well, I thank you for taking up your time.
Yeah, if you're more interested in heading to the woods and such, you could ask the other neighbors. They might know, but I mostly stick to myself and stick to here.
That's probably very smart, at least until this all settles down.
It's usually, I mean, people know me around here, but I try to make sure too many folk don't know me precisely. You see, I'm a mystery shopper, so I go in and I make sure everything is the way it should be, and occasionally it's not, and some folk get a little grumpy at that, but yeah, just doing my job.
Aw, that's nice. All right, well, goodbye, ma'am.
Oh, of course, you have a good one.
You as well, and I turn and walk away.
She pretends not to watch you as you walk away, but she's definitely watching you.
I got swagger, so that's fine.
All right, while Margaret was doing that, Carson, what are you doing?
So, where is everybody right now?
Jay is driving around looking for a cold, dark area. I don't know if you heard it because you said you were AFK for a second, but some names were mentioned from Sharon that Margot was talking to. And that's about it. I think you heard the rest of the conversation.
I only caught the music name. Were there other names?
No, she just mentioned Alex's teacher.
Okay.
Alex's teacher?
Yeah.
Music teacher, yeah.
Can I try out the trust your gut roll?
Sure. Well, what's that do precisely?
I just want to see where I should go.
Go for it.
Might as well try it.
Alrighty, trust your gut. On a 7 to 9, the keeper will tell you the general direction to go. Take +1 forward as you explore that. Wonderfully vague. Love it. Well, as you kind of look about and do your thing, Carson, you do see Margot speaking to Sharon, and while that might be a useful avenue, you do see some other folk kind of around the corner. So they're a good chunk from you, but it's someone who's doing yard work, but watching pretty close.
So does it look like they're doing yard work just so that they're outside to watch people?
Oh no, he's definitely doing yard work. In fact, his yard is actually very nice compared to everybody else's.
All right, I'm gonna head over there.
And as you do, you see an individual. He's chopping away and just making it look wonderful, beautiful, and just kind of doing his thing. And he looks relatively happy while he's kind of cutting away. And as you approach, he just sort of gives you a nod as if you're just walking by.
Nice yard you got there.
He turns off the machine he's working on and nods very happily at you and says, "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do put a quite a bit of pride into this lawn, as you can see."
Are you outside pretty often?
Oh, yes, of course. I love the outsides. I only just wish our neighbors took as much effort working on the yards as I did. But, oh well. Can't force them to, now can we?
I guess you can. No HOA in the area?
Well, of course there's an HOA.
Are you the head of the HOA?
Not just yet. I am working on it, but one of the top 3 to the head, if you will, they take my words quite seriously. And
wow.
Yeah, maybe a little
you
too
are your yard, it looks incredible. I'm sure you'll make it up there in no time.
He smiles very widely at that and says, Thank you. I might be a little too harsh of a judge on others, but yeah.
Well, not necessarily. I'm not sure if you've gathered, but I'm here investigating.
He looks at the police car that's still parked and just says, I assume you're the specialist they called in?
I am indeed.
Yeah, I don't recognize you. You all drove up in fancy cars and such, and I saw the other one. Very nice car. Yours as well. It drove off and, well, some can say that a few of us are pretty tied into the goings-on in this town. Not too big and all. What'd you find?
What did I find?
Yeah.
Well, definitely some murders.
Quite unfortunate that.
Yeah. You know anything about the two families over there? You seen anything weird going on?
Weird might be a strong word. Lately, they've been really fighting over their property lines. Like, not necessarily coming to blows, but really close to it. And honestly, if they just focused more on making their yard look nice, then maybe they could afford more property. But, those are your roses, no, they're mine. A tree, some leaves going over one side or the other. Just sloppy business, honestly.
Is that pretty odd that they were getting so up in arms about it, or?
I mean, someone's yard it's the outward representation of you, who you are. Everyone, when you drive by, the first thing you see is the front side of someone's house, so...
Of course.
Of course. So I don't blame them for wanting more property. He points to his, and you can very clearly see his is fenced off. He's like, well, my yard is, as everyone's should be, fenced off right there in the middle, not too invasive. It's not on their side, it's purely on mine, and if anything were to come through, I ask them politely to remove it. Not too difficult. We don't need to fight over it.
Out of game, is there a fence between those two yards?
Between the crab trees and the reeds?
Yeah.
No, definitely not. You can kind of see, it's actually difficult to tell where the yard begins and stops, so you can kind of see what he's talking about.
So this happened recently that they've begun fighting about it?
Oh, they've always been complaining about it. They've brought it up with the HOA multiple times, and like I said, some hold merit in it, but I just told them just sit down and measure the yards and whatnot. And they said, oh, we inherited this house from our family, and, my father always had this here and this there and blah, blah, blah. We used to play on that side of the field all the time, and the positioning is a bit awkward, I guess, but maybe, I don't know, with their son back, they've gotten a little more... I'm not entirely sure, but...
Since they've gotten their son back, they've been a little more fighty about it?
Yeah, well, he returned from college. Unfortunately, I mean, don't tell anyone, but I wouldn't call Milo lazy, but apparently he never went. So maybe they're trying to get him out of the house, get him to do something, work around the inside, the outside, clean things up, make him look pretty. If they got free labor like that, they might as well use them.
Absolutely. That's what children are for, right?
Precisely. I mean, if he's going to laze around the house all day.
So, would you say there was anything strange going on with Alex?
Strange in what sense?
Was he acting weird when he came back?
No, mostly just excited to be back, honestly. To be entirely frank, I don't entirely believe that he killed his family or the Crabtrees. I'm not saying, or apparently saying anything, honestly. I don't have the information, but it snuck out. They were obviously trying to keep this under wraps. The boy is only, well, he's a boy. He's 19, 20 years old. For him to do something so preposterously violent is completely out of the question. He was a good boy.
You promised to keep this between you and me?
Oh, of course. My lips are sealed.
I think you're right.
All right then. Well, I will definitely keep that to myself.
Keep it to yourself.
Of course. Good to know, though. Good to know. It helps stay the mind a bit. Just the thought of one of our neighbors' children going completely crazy like that and slaughtering people is honestly too much to bear.
Truly. Gosh, I just don't know. So we know that, out of game, we know that they were fighting. And then, is it odd? Does anybody else think that it's odd that the feud...
I mean, it could be why they were targeted versus any other neighbor.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it left after they had killed the Crabtrees.
But it doesn't
implying that it's smart and it wasn't just random.
Yeah, but it's still.
Or maybe it took advantage.
Too.
Maybe it took advantage of his knowledge.
Oh,
Maybe.
well.
It would have to have knowledge of the city then, or the town, I guess.
Well, more so if it hijacked Alex, maybe it was able to
read its mind.
Yeah, but this is all speculation. I'm sure what's the GM called in
the Keeper?
I'm sure the Keeper is secretly laughing to himself as we try to figure it out. What's this guy's name again?
His name is Weston.
I asked Weston if he knows anything about where the kids hang out.
Ugh, where the kids hang out. Honestly, I'm not really too tied into that entirely. Do you mean kids in general or them, those kids?
Kids in general.
Well, kids in general, I guess there's a bookstore nearby.
Do you have any kids, Weston?
I do not just yet, but sometime in the future, we're shooting for it. Yeah, you can understand.
Margot had asked if there was like lakes or anything nearby, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that Weston could corroborate that with?
Oh yeah, he lets you know that there is, just like Sharon said, there's a strip mall. There's also indeed a lake nearby that some people will go fishing and swimming to. It's, about an hour or 2 hours away, but not too bad.
It's an hour or two away?
Yeah.
For all we know, there could be just land in between there.
Well, it came outside to inside.
Are there any cave systems?
Nothing major that you would
sewer systems, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean sewer systems are everywhere, of course. Nothing major. Nothing out of the ordinary either, I would say. And then if there is a cave, it would mean like, oh yes, the cave of Russell Springs. It's more so just like, yeah, there is a cave, I guess, where you can like go hang out with people, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, the cave in Dark minus the back end of it, it's like that. Tiny, small, you just kind of move in. It's like, oh, that's it.
I mean, I feel like kids would know where that is, but I don't think adults would.
Exactly, yeah. Probably more dangerous than it's worth investigating, so.
That we can pull up a geographic map of the area.
Indeed.
Is there anything else that this guy can tell me? Or is he just nosy? But you did direct me in that direction. But it was only in general. He has been directing us to
talk to the people in general. So.
Yeah.
So I guess there is a lot they can actually tell us.
To be totally honest, I kind of wanted to miss on that roll. Because it says your instincts lead you into danger, and I was like, if I get led into danger, I could figure out where it is.
This is true.
Unfortunately, that did not happen, so I only got a vague answer. All right, I'm going to say, all right, Weston, thanks for your time. Again, keep that between you and me. But if you hear anything, because I know you're pretty connected to the guys up top, give me a call.
Of course. I would say you could ask the Crabtrees more about the reeds, but that's impossible. But you can always check with the boy's teacher. I'm sure he knows a few things.
All right.
Really a damn shame. If you ever heard Alex play, he was quite talented. Everyone in town knew about him. It's one thing that he was scheduled to play, unfortunately. They had some piece that they were preparing, but we were all excited to hear it, and now it's never going to happen. It's depressing, but life moves on.
Out of game.
Yes.
Was that piece of music on the piano?
He had a piece he was playing, yeah.
Did it look like it was one that he had been working on? Or would I have to go back to look at it?
It looked like it was handwritten, yeah.
I kind of want to go back and get it now.
There were others that were printed.
Did it look like did it maybe look like he was practicing it when something came?
That's hard to tell, but it was active. So,
because he was in bed. Never mind.
Right, he was in bed. We know that. But like prior to that, going from piano to bed, that's really difficult to tell. From what you know, he was actively working on that piece. Like his pen was out and everything.
I kind of want to go back and get that piece of music.
I mean,
take a picture of it.
Did he often play?
That was his thing, it seems like.
Did he often do it with the windows open so that it could carry?
But no, wait, don't we think that I thought that it was implied that the window wasn't supposed to be open because something came in.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
I mean, it wasn't forced open, so.
No, that's true.
Because I checked for that. So I assume all the windows were open-ish, right?
Oh, yeah. I
think it's just a very trustworthy neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah. Were you to ask, he would occasionally leave the window open when he's trying to show off new music. Or maybe finish to new music, not while he's practicing.
Nobody had heard it, though, yet. Weston said they were excited to hear it.
Yes, whatever their finished piece was, they hadn't finished it just yet.
Okay. I'm going to text Margot. She said, did she or Jay say anything about... Wow, why did my voice sound like that?
A little crusty.
Sorry about that.
I get rid of that phlegm.
Carson's voice cracks and it's embarrassing.
Hey guys!
Guys! He's like, I had puberty 15 years ago.
I finally pubertied.
Did either of them say they were going to the teacher's house?
Jay definitely isn't.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
was
text
Doesn't even
Jay.
know about the teacher.
I'm going to text Jay about it and Margot
Sure.
about it, just in case. I guess I wouldn't have heard from either of them.
Margot's still with, like, not earshot necessarily, but if you shouted, she'd hear you. You guys are on the same street, basically.
I think it's best to text, though.
I'm just saying she's close enough that it's not weird.
Are you going to text me before I text you, Carson?
Yeah.
All right, I'll text back. Nosy Neighbor also mentioned the teacher, so let's go.
Sounds good. There's a little group chat.
We don't know. We don't even know each other yet, but sure, we have a group chat.
Look, I got your number from the agency, and then
Sure.
a mysterious number texts you. You're like, who is this? I'm like,
You're brand new to this group chat.
Basically,
Also, they do
Jay
You
added.
get added.
the agency does provide burner phones for you guys, so for situations like these, it's acceptable. If you want to give out your actual number to random folk, you can, but you get burner phones as like default,
That's fine.
and you guys are pre-programmed. So if you need to call someone, Margot, Carson, and Jay are already programmed into each phone, as long as as well as the handler and Julian.
Well, in that case, no worries.
Yeah, basically.
All of a sudden, I'm texting you, and you're like, all right.
Ask, by the way, I have an ability. I have a move that gives me +1 ongoing while driving. Is that like always when I'm driving, or is it when I'm doing a move that requires me to be driving?
Probably driving related moves. So like if you're in a chase, you get +1 the entire time.
So not while I'm scouting out the town.
Probably a little bit of scouting as well. Yeah, I will say in terms of, to roll back to Jay, looking around town, there might be some locations that are like wet and cold, but besides that one detail, it's really hard to match that precisely.
Like if anything, I would only look for like, I don't know, dilapidated buildings or abandoned stuff, or I think the lake was too far out, so he's not going to do that. But
Right, yeah. In general,
within the city, the town, basically.
yeah. So in general, as you learn that Carson and Margot would like to go meet with the teacher, you can kind of keep looking around. You can meet up with them. It's entirely up to you. It's only going to take them like literally 2 minutes driving to get there. They could almost walk if they wanted to. It'd take you a good 10, 15 to get back from where you are now. You can continue looking, but that's entirely up to Jay if you would like to keep looking. There's probably a few like old buildings, but this town's on the up and up, so they try to either renovate things quickly or just demolish and not leave, the husk of a building up.
Yeah. Actually, are there any dig sites in that direction?
There are some dig sites where they're most likely building something new. Difficult to tell, but there's, the usual like, giant construction sign of like new thing coming soon, but we're not going to specify what it is.
I guess he would note those down, but that's about it.
Okay.
As he goes back.
And all three of you plan on meeting there?
Yeah. You know, Jay always arrives a few minutes before he legally should be allowed to.
Excellent.
He always tries too hard.
Alrighty, and with that, I guess, Carson, do you plan on waiting for Jay to get there so all three of you can talk at the same time, or?
I almost worry that'll be too much of 3 people.
Totally up to
He
you.
doesn't want to talk to people anyway. It's fine.
2 shouldn't be weird, though.
You two can go in while Jay's on the way back.
Good cop, bad cop.
I mean, depends how you want to go in. Like,
Are
I
you
can
the
also,
bad cop?
I am definitely the bad cop.
if you're waiting for me, I could suggest that I don't know, if you suspect anything, that I could go around back, see if I find anything, but...
Oh, that'll work. I'm not sure this guy's going to be sus, though. I think we just want to talk to him.
Sure. Your call.
And as you guys head over yonder, who knocks on the door? Who runs in first?
Let's approach with good cop first.
That would be me.
Assuming good cop is Carson.
It's definitely not going to be what's-her-face. I'm just kidding.
I have resting bitch face. It's all right.
Actually, I think you're just a bitch. Just kidding.
That too, but you don't need to say it out loud.
Good old
You did
RBF.
anyway.
All right, as the two of you head over to the chambers, you don't hear music currently playing, but you do see one of their windows is indeed open. You do hear humming, though, just coming from around the corner as you guys knock on the front door. Their house is just as nice as the others. There's 2 of those like small-looking Christmas tree to the right and to the left. I forgot what they're called. I don't think they're pines. There's something else. They look similar to the right and left of their door. And as you guys head on up, you knock.
Bruce?
Possibly, yeah. And the humming ceases for a moment as a woman who kind of looks like she got yoinked out of almost like the 20s answers the door. And she goes, "Well, hello there."
Hello, ma'am.
She's wearing kind of like a polka dotted sundress. It's yellow and it's got like, green dots on it. And she smiles. She kind of fixes her hair and spruces up a bit as she sees the two of you. Goes, well, what can I do for you?
I'm sure by now you've heard about what happened to the Reed family and the Crabtree family.
She attempts to hide her sadness, but doesn't really do a great job at it and goes, yes, unfortunately.
We know that you were Jesse's. Jesse? That's my name. Sorry, I saw Trust Your Gut Jesse over there on the right, and I just said it. We know that you were Alex's teacher, and we just wanted to know if you could give us any insight to him as a person, if there's anything that you think we could check out.
Oh, are you two here as investigators, or are you here to help clean things up?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, help clean things up?
Well, would you like to come in? It's rather warm outside.
Sure.
I don't want to let the AC out. Please come in.
Not.
Come in.
Yeah.
Is it warm outside?
Yes. It's like summer. And it's a bit cooler in the home. She's got multiple fans running. If the AC is turning on, it's infrequent because, like I said, some of the windows are open to let a little cross breeze hit up. And as you guys kind of move on in, she's like, humming to herself and kind of like a soft little dance walk as she's moving on in. And says, have you two eaten? Would you like something to nibble on? I was just working in the kitchen a moment ago. We're preparing for dinner.
No, thanks, ma'am.
No
Yes.
No snacks or anything?
No snack, but thank you so much for offering.
Of course, of course. Were you meaning to speak with my husband, with William, or?
Is your husband his teacher?
Yes, William. Oh, he was so close to the boy. And of course I knew him well, as well. He would always come in and sometimes I would sing for them, or I wouldn't really necessarily help them compose the music. You see, William and I were kind of a thing back in the day, but age strikes us all and things happen, but two of them working together was just so beautiful. I was close to the boy. It's so sad to see him go. Truly a shame.
Yeah, it's really very sad. That sounded so sarcastic. It's not at all.
And she sort of nods along and says, I'll be blunt, do you believe the boy did it? I don't think he had it in him.
I don't think
might
he
be
did it
something
either.
else at play. So you're not the only one who is of that opinion.
I hope you can figure out what the something else is. I know they're trying to keep it under wraps, but people talk, so everyone in town doesn't know that he did it, but they're all saying he did. It's just awful. What a horrible thing to say about such a beautiful boy.
Yeah, it's really there's something definitely odd.
You can see
going
her
on.
She's tinkering with her phone, and she says, well, I just let William. He's in his office, but he can be down in just a moment. He's finishing tidying things up, but he'll be down in about 5, I believe. Was there any questions you had for me in the meantime?
Well, did you know anything about Alex?
Oh, what precisely? I mean, he, before he went off to college, he and my husband, they played music all the time together. Once he discovered his talent back in high school, his early years of high school at least, he was over multiple times a week. We were very close to the family.
Is Alex a prodigy?
We'd like to think he was, yes.
Does your husband teach prodigies often?
When he sees the spark in their eyes, yes. But, small town, there aren't too many people that can inspire him in such a way. Besides myself, of course. She smiles.
How many other students does he take on?
There's a few, maybe 3 others, but they're nowhere near as good as Alex. Don't let them. No, I said that, of course, but they're fine. They're fine. They can play beautiful music, but it doesn't touch the soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I guess I wanted to know if she knew if anything had seemed strange the last several weeks.
Strange in what way?
Anything strange about Alex and his behavior?
Honestly, not that I can say, no.
So he seemed pretty normal.
I would say so. I mean, my husband's been very happy recently. Him coming back really lifted his spirits. Truly, everyone in town's happy to see him again. Well, beware. This is how... And she looks very dour. Like, it almost like keeps hitting her over and over that he's gone.
Yeah.
And she's just... It really is a shame. He could have gone places.
How much longer for the teacher to come down?
Basically, just as you say that, you hear someone kind of clump, clump, clump coming down the stairs. With the
That
smile.
is definitely a dude.
That is definitely a dude. A whole ass dude comes downstairs and goes, "Oh, hello there. I assume you're talking
Nice
about
to
me."
meet you. I am indeed. Man
Yes.
of the hour.
Your name?
I am, you can call me Carson.
Greetings, Carson. I'm William Chambers. And you?
And Margot.
Nice to meet you, Margot. He looks over to Martha. I assume my wonderful wife has offered the two of you snacks, drinks, anything?
Oh, yeah, we're fine.
No, of course. And he
Very generous of her, though.
and he smiles. Like, "Oh, she is quite a beauty." And he's adjusting his the sleeves on his shirt, kind of pulling down on it, kind of. The weather recently. Oof.
Did I catch anything on his arms? Is he adjusted his sleeves?
No, he's just adjusting his sleeves, complaining about the weather. Just I can't wait for fall.
Your wife said that you were cleaning up upstairs?
Oh, just preparing. I have some students coming in later tonight in about sometime after dinner, about 2 hours from now. Just preparing the lesson.
Would you be willing to take us up there and just give it, talk to us about your experience with Alex?
Oh, I mean, we can go into my office if you'd like, but no reason we couldn't meet here in the living room.
The office is where you typically worked on his music, though, correct?
Correct, yes. It's where I work in most of my curriculum.
We'd like to get a better feel for his music, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Did you want to hear something that was recorded, or?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
That would probably be better for the office then. And he kind of leans to you guys and says, Martha's been very sad recently hearing either me or recordings of his music, so...
yeah, we had heard that he was working on something new.
He was, yes. We can listen to that in there, away from her.
Yeah, definitely don't want to cause any undue stress.
Of course.
I nod understandingly.
And she's already kind of walked off to the kitchen. You can sort of hear her singing a song to herself as her humming turns into singing. She just, sing a sad song till it turns bright. Keep singing and singing all day and all night. And she kind of just keeps singing the song and just humming to herself. And she's clipping away at the board and finishing up their dinner. And William says, well, please kick off your shoes and come on upstairs. It's the second door on the right.
I'll do my shoes, I guess.
You sure you want nothing to drink? No water or anything?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
All right, of course. We will be eating in about 30 minutes, but it shouldn't take any longer than that. And he leads the two of you upstairs and goes to the room in question, pops that open, and while holding the door open, he waits for the two of you to come on in. I assume we'll enter.
Well, I guess we enter the room.
As you guys come in on first, he leaves the door cracked. He doesn't bother closing it. The first thing you guys see is his large wooden desk. It looks as if it was handmade, actually. Very, very nice quality. There is a piano across from that. And you can see some chairs. One for him. There's obviously one for the piano. This is a full stand-up piano. I forgot the precise name for them, but these are the rather expensive ones. And there's 3 large windows in this room, and they are currently closed. But this is most likely where the music indeed springs from. He says, "I wasn't currently playing. I was just, like I said, writing down the curriculum for tonight. You said you wanted to listen to Alex's music, or did you have questions for me?"
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of get a feel for what he was working on at the time.
Oh, of course.
I think that he was playing it either shortly before everything happened.
That's a damn shame. A damn shame, to be sure. The kid. I don't toss around the name Prodigy often, but he was an inspiration. I'll admit I was in somewhat of a slump, but just hearing him play was... And he seems legitimately torn up about this. But he says, but things are on the up and up. We'll move on. We can't dwell in the past.
You're over that slump?
My creative slump?
Yeah.
I'd like to think so, yes. I'd like to think so. It may sound strange, but I'd like to live on for the boy. I'm still planning on playing his song. It's not entirely finished. I haven't quite seen precisely where he was going with it, but just a few more bars and it should be complete. You can listen to the first half he had recorded. I'd rather not play, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Of course. And he closes the door, not fully, it's still kind of cracked, and he kind of moves over to CD player he has. He kind of flips through a few things and says, well, I'm looking for this. What brings you to our way? The specialists in the force? You guys used to
We're
things
the
like
specialists, yeah. We're here to help out.
Find anything interesting?
Nothing quite yet. This will just find the lead.
Well, I do recommend you keep looking around because, much like my wife and most people here, we don't believe the boy did it. It's just not possible. Ah, here it is. Pops it on in and sits back, his hands folded, just smiling at the two of you, just sort of waiting for it to start playing. And as it does, he, like, taking a bite of a fresh apple pie, just the look of satisfaction on his face as the music begins. He seems very, very proud. And he just kind of nods along with it. It is beautiful, soulful music.
As it plays, I want to text Jay. I want to ask him to check the outside of this house to see if there's any signs of little knife marks.
Sure. I was going to see if there was a cellar or something.
That'll work too.
Like one of those outside doors, basically.
So they don't have an outside cellar, but when you guys were kind of looking around the house, you couldn't really, full on see everything. But I did mention some homes indeed do have a basement. This one probably does as well. Looking at the general design, this one's fairly similar to the others, so it probably mirrors them. The floor plan is different, but other than that, pretty straightforward. So you know what you're looking for. I would still just say roll. Let's see. Is there a better move?
I mean, I have burglar, so for me it's sharp.
Yeah, because investigate a mystery is a plus sharp. Let's see, because it's not really investigating a mystery. You know what? Just roll me. Just roll plus sharp, I think. Are you trying to break into their house, or are you trying to just look around?
I mean, I guess I would look around if there are any marks then.
And then break in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
assuming there's a way into the cellar from outside, because I don't want to break in while they're there, I guess.
Sure. Go ahead and roll sharp then.
Sure.
All right, go ahead and mark experience, my good sir. And as you're looking around the house, it's really, there's so much to look at. There's a lot of square footage. These homes are pretty big. But you're going to check from every logical angle, probably starting from the back. That would make the most sense so people don't see you. And while Jay is checking on that, the music, like I said, it's just the first half of the piece. And you guys did take pictures of it, so he was still working. You guys could tell from the length of the piece and from the photo, it went on for a bit longer than this, but he doesn't have it recorded just yet. And as it stops, if either Carson or Margot appreciates music, it is quite beautiful. And he turns to both of you smiling as if to say, well,
That was quite beautiful.
it really was. I was looking forward to playing with the boy, but alas. But besides that, any questions you had for, I guess, me, since you have me alone?
Has anything like this ever happened to your students before?
He sort of turns to you as if to say, they went off on a murderous rampage. No.
No, I mean bad circumstances.
Oh, like something unlucky happening to them, disappearing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at all. Honestly, things like this just don't happen in Russell Springs. That's why everyone's so damn torn up about it. I mean, I may look like I'm handling it well, but if I'm to be honest, it hurts. It hurts. I was close with the boy, and we don't have a child of our own. So, Martha, if anything, we didn't cross any boundaries, of course, but he was like a son to us.
Of course. I'm gonna look at Carson. I don't think we can get anything else here.
I don't know. Can we have a copy of the thing that he'd been working on?
But the recording,
Yeah.
I don't
Or
have
of the sheet music?
the sheet music. Well, I'd have to make copies. I only have the original he was working on, and of course the one I'm working on that I, of course, will not spare. I am aware it might possibly be evidence, but it's merely a copy of his plus what I've added to it. So that I'm going to have to keep under lock and key, unfortunately. But a physical copy of the disc, how can I reach out to you? I don't currently have one. I just have the original.
I'll pull out I.C.S.'s business card. Fake business card.
And he kind of looks over and goes, oh, not sure I've heard of them before, but all right. Private investigators, I assume?
Yes.
Oh, understood. Well, I can, I guess, just reach out. Are you staying anywhere nearby? A hotel? Motel?
Yeah, we'll be nearby.
Oh, of course. How long are you planning on staying? A week or so?
Until the case is solved.
Well, hopefully. Doesn't take any longer than a week. I can have this for you tomorrow. Like I said, I've got a class tonight. I've got some classes tomorrow. But other than that, I shouldn't be too busy. I should have it done by tonight. But I will definitely... You prefer call or text?
Text.
Text.
All right, I'll be sure to text you by tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Midday sound good?
Sounds great.
Excellent. And is there anything else I can do for you while you're here?
No, I have a good dinner.
Yeah, I think we're fine for now.
No, with Martha cooking, it's always a good dinner. All right, and with that, he leads you guys downstairs, and you hear Martha still singing the song. It's both happy and incredibly sad. You can hear it kind of quivering in her voice a bit, but it's a song that longs for happiness, knowing that one day things will be okay. And he says, Martha, dear, the two are leaving now. She goes, oh, it was wonderful to meet you too. Really, next time you swing by, if you do, you're going to have to eat something. I'll have something prepared.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Next time, absolutely, you've got a deal.
And he waves a business card and says, they'll be here for the week, so we'll most likely see them again. I'm burning a CD for them. She says, oh, well, it's a plan then. That's a little promise. Can't say no to me then, now can you?
It's true.
Perfect. She moves back into the kitchen as he shows you guys the door.
I guess then we leave.
All right. It's about 5 o'clock or so as of now. And looking around, Jay, as they were kind of still coming around and down the stairs and chit-chatting with Martha and William, you're looking and you just can't find anything. It's really difficult. You're not sure if they kind of left the windows open. Would you be touching the windows or no? To see if they leave them unlocked?
Like, he's very much the type to, like, do his due diligence in investigating, so probably not. Like, if anything, the fact that he didn't or wasn't able to get anything was probably because he saw the wife, like, hopping around, looking outside. So he just didn't risk it, effectively.
Okay. So you didn't bother touching any of the windows or anything?
Yeah, he didn't get too close.
All right. You do learn that there is indeed no, like, the only outside entrance is there's a back door to get into. It's near their kitchen, so it makes sense that she would have seen you if you were slinking around there too much, but you, of course, know to stay away from that door and the front door. So they have there's no basement entrance from outside that you can see. And honestly, that mirrors the other homes. They didn't really have them either. As you're moving around here, though, behind you, as you're kind of checking the side, you have to kind of push on the paneling a bit. It's not loud, but it's time consuming. The only reason you guys saw the one is because you looked out the window and she happened to, like, lean in and you were super close, so you saw it. You got to check this whole ass house. As you're checking and poking and pushing, you hear a coming from behind you.
Jay's just gonna slowly turn around, I guess.
You don't see a dog, at least in their yard, but the neighbor's yard. And there may be too short fence. You see a dog kind of looking through a crack that's a little too wide. He's like staring at you, just.
Jay reacted to that. Like, he's used to dogs being used for guarding, so he doesn't care too much. He assumes that this is a neighborhood dog. He's not gonna get bitten, probably.
Difficult to tell, but he looks angry.
Yeah. I feel like he would be the type to, like, smile a little, slowly approach it, and stick out his hand to get to know it. See how it reacts.
Ballsy.
As you move closer to the fence, it kind of headbutts the fence a bit. Just, he starts barking like crazy. He's just going nuts. He starts jumping at the fence.
No, come on. We just met each other. No need to get loud.
This dumb dog he's not listening. He's just he's starting to jump, and you can, like, see him getting to the top of the fence, and he is just leaping.
Jay's just gonna sigh and, I guess, walk away.
And as you guys are heading out the front door, both Martha and William are like, "Oh God, the neighbor's dog is being so loud," and they go to look out their window as you said you're slinking off, Jay.
Yeah, like the way I came from, basically.
Okay, you're able to kind of go, like, the opposite direction as the dog's going crazy, and Martha and William look at the window like, "What the hell? What is he doing?" And they just see the dog just jumping and just freaking out. And they're looking like, "What? Oh my God!" Again with this crazy boy. Ugh. But they don't see you. Did you reconvene with your allies in the front yard?
Yeah, I'll make sure to lead, like, the long way around.
Alrighty. And as we all meet together, like I mentioned, it's around 5 or so they're having dinner. And as he said, they're doing something after. So the sun is indeed starting to go down. I.C.S. has already paid for a local motel for you guys to stay, and as long as you need to, within reason, of course. So what is our next plan?
Have we heard back from anybody about the potential monsters?
Coming back from Julian with his various questions. Are you guys heading to the motel, or are you guys kind of just waiting in the front, being like, "Ah, shit, where do we go next?"
I'm gonna go to the motel.
Yeah, the motel sounds good.
Okay.
And we can go over the stuff that we've
Oh my
learned.
God, who takes care of my dog when I'm long staying somewhere?
Doggy
Probably
daycare.
Maverick.
Yeah, but he could be busy too.
Yeah, oh, you have doggy daycare.
He definitely isn't busy right now.
That's true. I guess I could text him to pick her up if he can.
Yeah, I mean that in case he's busy. There is a special. They're specialized. So you got the money. You pay the money. They can look after BFF if they need to an extra day or so.
Excellent.
And they're good people, so they'll be good to your little pup. As you guys are heading back,
I only found the best, of course.
Of course. As you guys are heading back, though, you do indeed get a text from Julian. And it effectively says, yes, there was some form of mucus. It was kind of difficult to see, but some of it was, like, wedged into those little cuts around the knife wounds. There was a trace amount of mucus found as well near the knife wounds, but a lot of it was like wiped off, but not like intentionally, just due to the struggle. And
I knew it.
yeah, due to something. And he could actually see on some of the wounds, looking real close, it looks like there was a pulling at the skin. It's real subtle. Like it happened fast, but there's definitely some bruising around each of the wounds. It's really hard to see that.
On the victims?
Yeah, on all the victims.
More and more that leech theory. More and more.
What can I say? I got good guts.
Yeah. Were there any other questions you guys had? I'm trying to remember. I think there's
if there was anything in the database that could possibly be, vampiric nature.
Checking with your friends, they come back with a very gory and long list of potential things that want to suck blood. And it comes upon you like, oh yeah, that's unfortunately a very common myth amongst like everybody. Just blood sucking this, blood sucking that. Oof, it's a kind of nasty list to go down.
Any that are attracted to music.
Looking down the list, we can indeed, not overnight. You got some time. You guys are tired fairly early. But without needing to roll, you guys can spend a little bit of time trying to slowly figure out, are there any blood-sucking things that are attracted to music? And next week, we'll have those answers.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, I also wanted Julian to look at Alex's guts. Did he get to that yet, or is he working on it?
He has indeed received that. Write down Alex's guts, and I'll answer next week. How's that sound?
Okay.
Questions that will be answered.